welcome to another day with Zenler. So a warm welcome. It's now the 25th of March and it is 9 a.m. in the morning. So the first part of a day with Zenler, I like to talk about our educational resources because they're so important, especially if you're starting off or you're an intermediate user. So you need to know where to find the videos and the lessons and courses that can actually help you. And of course the lives, because we have a lot of lives going on as well, which you can jump into and actually get support by the educational team itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump straight into our tutorial site and you can see it in there. So I'm going to jump across now. And we can see that here we go. So it's tutorials.newzenler.com. And inside here, this is where all of our resources are. And the main ones that we want to be talking about here and looking at is the NZ Masterclass bundle. So you're going to see it down here. Guys, if you have not signed up for this, you're going to see the display slightly different. I'm going to just put it in here because you're not going to have the welcome come up. You're just going to have it like this. And what you need to do is you need to come down here to the NZ Masterclass bundle. You need to hit the enroll to our Zenler tutorial. Just put your email in there and sign up and you'll have access to all of the videos that I'm about to show you. So inside here, the most important area, if you're just new to learning Zenler, is the Learn Zenler. And then we have three other zones in here. One is Zenler Marketing, one is Zenler Extras, and one is Zenler Bootcamps. Now, if you're beginning or you're just starting your journey on Zenler, don't really go into the marketing or the extras or the boot camps, because if you haven't got your site and your course together, these are not going to help you. So the most important area to go into is the Learn Zenler. So I'm going to click in here now. I'm just going to take you through it. And inside here, we have actually two main courses, and then we have this basic setup checklist. Now, what I advise you to do is enter this course, and this is just a PDF. So all you need to do is download this PDF here, okay? So once you've done that, you've downloaded it and you can basically check things off. And inside here, we give you an information on what the checklist is all about. You might want to watch that or you might not want to. You want to jump back and then you want to go straight into, so you've got your PDF, maybe you've printed it out or you're just viewing it. Then you're going to jump into what's called the Quick Start Guide, and it is what it says on the can. It's a quick start guide. It will take you between 2 to 5 hours depending on your level of competence on the computer itself. It's very easy to work through. We've made it very clear for you to follow along with this, and it's not too long a course. Inside here you're going to see the first part is getting prepared for our site creation, and we've got a quick tour of Zenler itself just to get you familiar with it all. Then we've got setting up our first Zenler site. So obviously before you create your amazing courses, you've got to have a site in which to put them into. So we start there and we take you through the basics of that. And then we go testing it. So we're going to test the site now as a student. Then we move on to getting prepared for course creation and setting up your first course on Zenler, testing that course as a student. Now that is a key word, testing. We mention it a lot here at Zenler. If you do anything new on your platform, on your site, or adding courses or trying out other things that you can do in the system, always test it. So we re-emphasize that all the time. So then we've got, should I do anything else? So from here, we tell you where to go next. And then we sort of carry on here. And if you are a free user, because this training is available to you as a free user, you can find out more about the Pro and Premium and why you should be using that as a professional course creator. So we tell you about upgrading to Pro and Premium, and of course your next step. And your next step would be the complete guide to Zenler. All right, so it's quite concise, this, and it will tell you everything you need to know. From there, once you're armed with that foundation, you can actually move on then to the complete guide to Zenler. So if we jump into the complete guide to Zenler now, this is an encyclopedia of everything Zenler. So we have a search up here of all the videos we have in this guide, and we have information on the actual complete guide itself. And down here, you're going to find all of the lessons, and we split them into different sections. So it's still got some basics in there. So it builds upon what you already know. And as you move down, you're going to see that it gets more and more sections added to it with lessons inside. All of these are self-contained in each of those sections. So you learn that section, you'll understand that area. For instance, features of page builder in Zenler. So here we have course creation part 1. So we get more technical with the course creation process. We talk about things like bundles, like single course access pages. We talk about a lot of different things, getting really into every crevice that Zenler has to offer you. So this is quite involved. It's part 1 of the course creation. Then we have testing here. And what's the difference between free, pro and premium? So we cover that again. Then we got course creation part 2. Yeah, because it is a course creation platform. So we spend a lot of time in here. You'll see a lot of videos on this. And then we have creating membership sites. So we show you how to create different types of membership sites. And you can just pick the type that you think works for you. Lots of downloads in this site as well to look at and download and keep. And we also have selling physical and digital products on Zenler. So we've really covered pretty much everything. Then we have setting up your custom domain and subdomain. Now, if you are a free user, you cannot do that. You can only do that if you're a pro or premium. So this course, it kind of assumes that you are a paid platform user, okay, pro or premium. So there is things on there. If you can't get access to them because you're a free user, it's just because you are a free user. All right. So then we have the media library and media. So it talks about media engaging. So we cover so much stuff here. Engagement and nurturing for your students. So we talk about quizzes and surveys. All of this can be done in the platform without the need of any external app at all. Okay, now we've got engagement and nurturing communication. So how do we communicate? We can add discussions, or we can create a community for a course or an open community. We also talk about engagement and nurturing via forms. So how you can actually get more information from your students or even have new leads coming through using forms. Next, we move on to marketing and email automation. So this is the marketing section. These are tools inside Zenler that you can use for marketing, such as email automations. We have marketing SEO tracking code related. So we show you things like how to put Google Analytic code into your site, how to put Facebook pixel, etc., etc. As we move down, you'll see marketing video and marketing funnels. So yeah, we have those built into Zenler marketing funnels, and you can create those, and that's a whole section on that. We also, as far as marketing is concerned and lead or prospect capture, we have live webinars, live classes, live streams to drive engagement on the site. And that again is quite a big area. So we show you there marketing, promotions and affiliates. So how you can actually have an affiliate on your site, how you can run different promotions. So we also have setting up and creating blog posts on Zenler. We've got email lists. We've got embedding external apps for social media, such as Instagram. We have integration. So we go through all of the integrations that are part of Zenler, and we look at all of those in detail inside here, just showing you how to connect them up. We don't talk about the particular piece of software itself, like say, for instance, ConvertKit. We don't talk about ConvertKit. We just tell you how to hook it up to Zenler. We assume that you know those pieces of software if you're using them. And then we have final thoughts, what's coming next. So this is the complete guide. So this should be your starting place. Now, if you ever need to get back to the beginning, down the bottom of each of the areas, you can go into back into the zones there like this. So you always have that way of jumping. So once you've covered that, and it's really important that you cover that before you move on to the other zones, it is just so important. So when you finish that, you're going to want to market your actual course or your site. So you want to jump into the Zenler marketing area, because this gives you Zenler basics marketing. So we could sell this course, we could sell this course for thousands, but we've given it to you for free. It really shows you how you can actually market your Zenler site, but it could actually apply to any site that you have. It's a generalist approach to marketing. It's a little bit more than a basic course. It's more of a basic intermediate course. And there's quite a lot of content in there giving you great ideas on how you can market your course or your site for lead capture and obviously for sales. So next from there, we're going to move into the next zone, which is Zenler Extras. There's a lot going on in this area. These courses inside here have been set up because they've been asked for by you guys. So there's things like ethically copy a site. So this takes like WordPress site, and then we just do a Zenler version of it, showing you how to do that. Quite a good one to look at. Now, for you guys, we don't expect you to all be branders or designers. So we put together a little course here on branding and design, and it's giving you really helpful, usable tips that you should employ when you're designing your site. So definitely worth. So if you've done the site and you've done your courses, watch the branding and design, and that'll probably make you change certain things in your site or your courses. So that's branding and design. We've also got hardware and software. So this kind of setup that we've got with cameras and lights, we sort of show you how we do it here at Zenler. And we look also at live workshop replays. So these are replays that we've already run on different subjects. There's quite a lot of them in there. We always add to these as well. Next, we have advanced ninja tricks. Now, this is for coders. If you're not a coder and you don't want to get into code or programming in any way, even though this particular course, I've made it really, really simple. Anybody can do it, right? So if you're worried, you think coding, I'm not going near that area. Have a look, try it. You can't break anything. You can just undo what you did. It's really easy and simple to follow. And you might be surprised with what you can do inside Zenler just using some code. So next we have some Zenler theme packs. Now this was asked for. We are bringing out the new page builder 2.0. And when we do that, there's going to be features dropped into that, such as theme packs. But in the meantime, just because we wanted to fill the gap and you guys were asking, we've created a few themes in here for you to download and actually use in your site. So you can use blocks in there, and you can use the whole page design if you want to. There's also things like forms in there. There's also things like custom certificates in there and showing you how to edit them as well. So it's a really good area when you get into that. So that is the Zenler's Extras area. Next, we go into the Zenler Bootcamp area. And these are boot camps that have been run. These two here, that we have the Launch Your First Course Marketing Challenge. This was a 5-day marketing challenge. So remember that basic marketing one that we've got? This was a challenge based on 5 days. So it's a quick hit. So you've got to just get on and do that in those 5 days. Not a lot of work. You just need to get on and do it. And next, we also have the 5-day Business Blogging Bootcamp by Kevin. And this is really good, really successful, as is our marketing challenge as well. These are two definitely to look at. These will run live. We do run these things live as well. So this is our tutorials.newzenler.com site. And we have all that stuff for you. Next place I want to take you to is our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/c/Zenler. And inside here, lots of these videos don't go anywhere else. They only go on our YouTube channel. So make sure you go to here, subscribe, hit the bell. Why? Because every time we bring out a new feature release into the platform, you will hear about it first here. It's when it's released. So you can see we've got the new feature ebook lessons, new feature Zenler bulk actions. You've got the view live webinar, and these three are just within the last month. So you can see how prolific we are at bringing out new feature releases on our platform. We are the most prolific on bringing new features out, for sure. And there's tons of stuff that's gone in. We've got Organize Your Media Library, live class lessons, sell live classes. So that's a really good one, selling your live classes and your live webinars. So after that, what we've got is, and just up here, by the way, we ran this quite a while ago, but it's what happened in a year on Zenler. So that was 7 months ago. And you just see all the features that we've added and what's happened on the platform. It's a really interesting watch. So down here we got Ask Zenler, Zenler how-tos. These are questions, generally longer questions that have been asked by people on the Facebook group, our members on the Facebook group. So we've done some videos up for them there. We've got office hours that we run every Wednesday between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT time. And these are run every week live into our Facebook group, okay, that we're going to look at in a second. Next, we've got reviews from some of our instructors. We got Zenler Pro interviews, so interviews by people using the platform. We got Zenler FBHs. These are short little help videos for people on the Facebook group. Next, we have a day with Zenler. So this day with Zenler will go into here as well. And these are some really interesting sessions. They are long because each one of them is over 3 hours. Open them up, just have a look. They're all time stamped, so you can just click them and go straight to the bit you're interested in. Definitely worth a look. Next, we got live builds. So this is a really popular thing. We did one about a month ago, and we did two a month ago actually. And what we're doing is we're taking someone who's got lots and lots of problems with their site, or maybe wants their site to look better, and we basically go through it. We live stream it into the Facebook group and we make it better right in front of their eyes. It's a really popular one. People love the live builds with Zenler. Generally I do them, so I will be jumping back in there when I get some time. There's so much going on at Zenler. It's we're spread a bit, I'm spread a bit thin on things, so I need to just catch up with myself, and then I'll be back on the live builds as soon as I get a chance. Every Sunday I run a workshop. So here's the workshops in here. You can see some of the, I've got more to put up, but here are some of them in here. We've got Zenler live workshops that we've run here, and we have Zenler free packs in here. So definitely an area to explore. Next, I'm going to go to our Facebook group, and inside our Facebook group, we have certain areas that you should go to. So our Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/new Zenler beta. And if you put that in there, and you should be part of it if you're watching this, then you're going to see down here that we have lots of filters on things. So if you go down here, you can go to featured. So Kevin looks after this, and this is all featured stuff because the actual main thread is full of people's comments. So we like to put in featured just stuff that's going on from us, so you can actually see all the announcements coming in here. Now, the next important area is the events. So inside the events, it tells you what's coming up. So you can see there's Days with Zenler there, Zen Chat. So you can see all this stuff going on. You can see all our Zen Zone sessions that I'm going to get to in a second. Zen Zone sessions are a new thing that we just introduced. We've extended our team, so we now have Manmeet in here, and she's also doing some of these Zen Zone sessions. Going to talk about that in a minute. So that's our educational resources. So pretty cool stuff. And right, I want to jump straight into and tell you all about Zen Zone. So Zen Zone is a new thing that we're doing. It's actually a co-working session. So what it allows you to do when you take one of our sessions, and we run a lot of them, we pretty much run them daily, you can find one that works for you. And the whole point of it is that you might be stuck with something, or you might have something that you want to achieve with your site or your course. So what you do for the Zen Zone session is you pick one goal. You enter the Zen Zone session with that goal in mind, and you do it. You do it in the Zen Zone session. If you get stuck while you're doing something, you can ask one of the team who's in there with you how to solve that problem. So you might open a breakup room specifically for you to tackle what your problem is, and then you can move forwards. So the whole thing is to actually put the responsibility to you to actually achieve that goal at the end of that Zen Zone session. So it pushes you forwards. We're about moving forwards with things, not stagnating or procrastinating in any way. And we feel that this is a really good way to move you guys forwards. So we have a lot of Zen Zone sessions. So I'm going to jump into where the Zen Zone sessions are so that you can book and get on one of them. So I'm going to jump into the site. Give me 2 seconds here. So the Zen Zone session is actually a course, and you can book the ones you want. So just get yourself on the course and then you can just book them. So I'll just give you the link to where this is. So drop that into the chat and I would just share my screen again. Okay, so here is our Zen Zone session. So live drop-in clinic virtual co-working session. So here we go. You can see all about it here. You can see what it's for. Book a session, and you need to enter the zone here. So if you enter the zone, you're going to go into it, and I need to just jump to the page. So once you've filled that out, you'll be part of it. Let me go into the course access page to show you. Okay, so once you've signed up for that, you then can just pick the session you want to go to. You'll have an automated email that come out to you. When you receive that, you'll get one hour before, 15 minutes before. Just when you book this, a little tip, before you book it, have the goal in mind. Okay, put that on a post-it note at the side of your computer on a notepad, and then book the session. And then when you get that email, you'll be able to pick it up. That's what I'm working on. And then that's what you'll do. You'll come straight into it and you'll be working on that particular thing. So you can see we've got a lot of sessions in here. We're hitting loads of time zones. We've got Alice, so she's American here. We've got Liz, who's in the UK. We've got Manmeet, who's in India. So it covers the Indian and marketplace there and Australian marketplace. Alice again, Manmeet. We've got Liz again. So you've always got those sessions in there. And the times are all different in here. So there must be one that will work for you. This is just such a cool thing to attend. We're already getting a lot of traction to it. Now is the time to get in there whilst people are not using it. As soon as people go, oh, this is really good. I'm achieving things and I'm getting the support I need. More people will come into these sessions, you know. So while there isn't many in there, you want to get on in those sessions as quickly as possible. This is what I say whenever I do things like an open house or a Q&A session. If I don't get many people in there, it's kind of they're missing a trick here, because like I can help those people and I personally help all those people. And that's what you're getting. You're getting expert help without paying a penny, absolutely free. So you want to get into these sessions now. You want to make the most of them now, achieve what your goals are. It doesn't matter. You can go to all of the sessions. If you've got multiple goals or you haven't finished the goal and you need to carry on, you can bring it into another session. It's okay. You know, you can find the actual educator that you get on with. You might just choose Liz, you might choose Manmeet, you might choose Alice. You might say, right, okay, well, they know my problems, almost like a doctor, like a clinic, you know, and you can go back and see them time again. So this is our Zen Zone session. We think this is going to be hugely successful. It's just started. We haven't really publicized it a lot, but we think it's going to be really cool because it's just such a good thing. And I don't think anyone's kind of doing this kind of stuff, not to this extent anyway. So that kind of brings us to the educational areas. Now, we've just run a YouTube challenge as well. That's just finished. Kevin's got his Zen chat coming up. Again, check the Facebook group. You'll see all the events in there. So that covers our tutorials on Zenler. So we're ready to move on now. It is a day with Zenler, and we do have some exciting guests coming along. So we are going to get on with that now. So let's move on. Hi guys, so you've seen all our educational area. That's all really cool. We've had some questions come in as well. So we got Luan, who has asked a question about email and actually looking who has opened the emails and those sort of things and how to preview the email that you sent out. It's all really actually easy to do. I'm going to sort of walk you through it in a second. We've got Jacqui Footman coming on, to, demoing what she did for her EFT symposium, which was hugely successful. That's coming up in about 6 minutes. So I've got 6 minutes, Luan, to show you how to do the email reporting. So I've already answered to Kat Griffin. She's saying, will the ebook feature become an option in marketing funnels? Now, I remember Rakesh saying the other day that that will be the case. We're going to give no ETA on that, but it will be rolled out. There's be a lot of things, more integrations, so you can use them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump across to show you, Luann, about the emails and have a look. Okay, guys, so I'm in now the Good Doggy training site, and as you can see, I've already sent an email out. So I can see straight from here who's opened it, who's clicked it, who's unsubscribed, but it doesn't give me who did what. So we can easily do this. You'll also notice that you can clone it. So if you've already produced an email, you've forgotten to clone it, you can always clone it even though it's sent out. So what you need to do is go to email, you need to go to all your broadcasts, you need to hit this detailed view. This detailed view will take you through to everybody who's signed up. Now, these are all just fake Zenler addresses, so it doesn't matter that I show them. I'm not breaking any GDPR rules or anything like that. Now, if I want to see what this email looks like, guys, simple. Hit the view details here, and then you'll see a preview of the emails that were sent out. So you'll be able to see it in there. You can see this is a very short email. So that gives you a preview of what you sent out. I think that answers one of your questions, Luann. The other thing is, how do I know who bounced, who didn't click, and all these things? Well, we have these options inside here. So you can go down here and you can go, right, who didn't open it? So I can click that and it will filter. And it will tell me the ones that haven't opened it. It'll tell me the ones that have clicked it as well. So I can click the people that have clicked it. I can also see the ones that have bounced as well. You can see those have bounced. And of course, the ones that are delivered as well. And you can see that shows all inside there. Now, the great thing about this as well, Luann, is that if you can see the ones that haven't clicked it, not clicked, what you can do is you could export this list out as a CSV file. Okay, so then you could import it back into your contacts, but you could add a tag like not opened. Then you could send an email. You could set up a new email broadcast, and you could just target that tag, and you could send an email to them saying, have you, do you want to buy this? Do you want this 50% out to buy it? I don't know. So you can follow up on people that maybe haven't got it. Now, you asked the question about how can I find out who didn't buy it? Well, that would take two things to do. So one is you would tag them coming in. That way you would see the tag of the users that have actually bought it. And then the other people that haven't got that tag, this is in course automations. If they haven't got that tag, then obviously they haven't bought it. And then you could filter them and find them there. But it can get a little bit complicated if you're not already using tags, because they might get mixed up with people that you've already got. So depending on what you want to do. So to tag people into a course, you can go into the course. I'm going to quickly show you there. I've got 3 minutes. So let's jump into here and go into the automations for this course. So of course, to tag people coming into the course, really easy. All you need to do is you need to just set up a new tag. So anyone that enrolls in this course on enroll, notice that. I'm going to go there and add a tag. So once that tag goes in, you can see it there. I'm going to go enrolled to dog anxiety, something like that, dog anxiety. And then I can click save, and then I make it live, and I can apply it to all students, which I probably would want to do. Or you can click no to apply if you don't want to apply it to existing students. Now that's live in there. You can see that. It means that when they come in after enrollment, 0 days, they'll be tagged with this. Okay, so then you'll see them in your list and you'll know those people have enrolled. So you can also filter people on the actual, let me go in here. You can also filter people inside here as well. You can again use these advanced filters that we've given you in here to actually do things. So you can go not enrolled in course or enrolled in course. Let's choose enrolled in course. And then I can choose that course and I can click apply filter, and it will give me anyone that's enrolled. You can see there's nobody in there at the moment. So you can filter it on that as well. And you can also add extra filters in there as well. Okay, so I'm going to jump back to my office view now, and we will have Jacqui coming in at any stage to talk about the EFT symposium that she ran. Now, I had Jacqui on for a Sunday live, and she was telling me how successful it was. I was helping her a little bit with it because there was a few concerns she had. It was a big thing, you know. She had, I think, about 285 or 295 people in it. They raised 16,000 through running this symposium. They had, I think there was 2 sessions of 4 hours. So I said to Jacqui on Sunday, would you come in and just have a bit of a chat about it and tell us, you know, what was good about it, how Zenler kind of helped you, because she was really happy with the way that it all turned out. So I'm going to have her in here. I think she's in. Jacqui's in here. There you are. You should be able to unmute yourself. Hi, Jacqui.
Yep. Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you. It's good to see you. So yeah, I just filled in everybody on a little bit about what you were doing for the symposium. So yeah, so do you want to talk about it? Do you actually want to say what you did and how happy you were with the result and all those things?
Yep. Firstly, I apologise for my lighting, but I've got major renovations going on in just one corner, and when we have this lovely sunny weather, I've got these bright lights in front of me and it just can't compete with the sun, so there we are. Anyway, and that happened on the symposium as well. It was even more of a surprise. It was our first beautiful sunny day. But yeah, what do? We thought we do this symposium every year. Before the pandemic, it was live, and then we did the first one online last year, just using a Zoom webinar. And we took all the bookings through our own website. It was a lot of work for somebody, collating all the list of people and then sending the Zoom links out separately and so on. So we thought, now we've got new Zenler, how could we use that, and could we have everything automated? And it worked a dream in the end. So I was really new to this. You know, I've done some of your mentoring, but was working out as I go along, and new things were being brought online all the time. So I think when we set this up, you just introduced the recurring meetings, which was brilliant because our symposium is all day long and the maximum length of the Zoom meeting in Zenler is 4 hours. So we realized we'd have to have two meetings at least, one for the morning, one for the afternoon. And then it was, different links. That's going to be so confusing for people. How can we do that? And then just as we were thinking that, recurring meetings came out, and support was so good. We wrote in and said, how do we do this? He said, just use recurring meetings. And I said, well, how? It's not different days. That's all right. Just go in and add in the occurrences and put them on the same day. And so helped us do that. And then once we got that sorted, that was great. So we ran it as a live interactive meeting because basically we set up all the course and the links before you introduce the live webinar. So we may well use live webinar now, but it did work all the same. It was really good because we were able to make it like a live webinar with the settings. So the wonderful security thing, if you click on the security and you get all these choices of if you can allow people to unmute, or you can allow them to show their cameras. So we had, thanks to your advice, David, we had all the cameras switched off and we had everybody muted. So it was effectively like a webinar. Some people were still seeing all the little black boxes on their screen, but we realized that you can also use the Zoom settings to hide, it's the video settings, isn't it? So hide non-video participants. And then you literally get left with the screen like I'm looking at now, which has just the speaker or the 2 speakers on the screen. So it's just like a webinar. Previous years we'd had Q&A when we used a proper webinar, but we found it worked fine with just the chat. So we used the chat for the questions for the speakers. We had one person on the day looking up the questions and monitoring the chat. And we asked everybody who had a question for a speaker to put in the chat in capital letters first, question 4. So that solved that. the bookings went brilliantly. It's just like any course. So we set up the sales page. I can show you that now, but we have already changed it to sell the recordings. So would you like to see that? Would that be useful if I share?
Yeah, I think the people would, I think the guys watching would like to see it. I think they get the idea of what you mean, but actually to see things is always good as well.
Yeah. So I think I've got it here. Right, can you see that okay?
I can, yeah, I can.
Good, right, that's the course access page at the moment. So if I go back, I think, this is the sales page. So we just set it up really simply. Obviously we've got the course title and the subtitle. Then we just used an image there, the course card image. That did say EFT International Symposium online March 19th. And we've switched it now to say video recordings from, because we're now selling those. And we've changed this button by access to the recording. So it did say book now for the symposium. And then this is summary. This was a summary that was there, but we've just changed it into the past tense. So this is so easy. This took like 5 minutes to switch this into being able to sell all the recordings.
I know, and it's great. It's great, Jacqui, because you've got, you know, you're doing a live event. You're taking money for that, and then you can actually monetize what you've just done. All that hard work you've just done, you can monetize it into recording sessions. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and it's so easy with Zenler. I just can't believe, because I never thought in my life that I'd be able to do something like this, building websites or anything like that. I always had people do it for me, and with the training that you provide, I'm doing this, and so exciting. So then we had the speakers. So this was there, and we kept adding speakers as we got them lined up. So that ended up being our full complement of speakers. And then we had some testimonials from our last year's symposium, and a few little images. And then there we've got, so this has had 3 different price plans. To start with, it was the early bird booking, and we set the price plan for certain dates. So the early bird booking finished at the end of January, and then we started with a full price booking from the beginning of February, and we timed them all just so people could book up until about half an hour before it started, and that was all done automatically. And then now we've put up this new price plan for buying the recordings, and by using tags in the automations, we can see who booked for the symposium itself and who booked for the to buy the recordings. And when this was for it's the course, the actual course access page now. So this was, let's see, I'm trying to think. No,
so have you added extra thing in the recording?
Yeah,
we have extra things in there.
Yeah, we've added in here. So what we've got now is the course access page set up with the curriculum block, and this is the curriculum block here. But when we were selling the symposium, we took the curriculum block out, or had nothing in it. I can't remember which, but it didn't show either way. And we just had this photo, the course card photo, with a big button on it, which was book your webinar place here, book your spot for the webinar, or the symposium webinar.
Sorry, Jacqui, was that on the course access page then?
Yeah, it was on the...
You actually deleted out the curriculum block and just had that button on there.
Yeah. So while we were in that booking stage, and in the automations, we really emphasized what you need to do now is go to your course access page and book your spot on the live symposium. And most people did. I suppose I had 10 to 20% who didn't. But fortunately, thank goodness, you brought in bulk actions before we actually started. And so I could then go through the list of people who'd signed up, and I could sort of add everybody in who hadn't yet registered. But that in itself meant there was a bit of learning there, because I then discovered I had more people registered for the live webinar or the live meeting than I actually had booked on the course. So I thought, what's going on here? And then again, because I've been to your wonderful tutorials and learnt about filtering, I was able to filter out who'd booked for the course from that list and found the 15 people. And some of them had managed to get in and book on the webinar without having paid for the course. So we deleted those and let them know we were deleting them. And then there were some where they were people who were booked on the course, but they'd obviously come in and just put a different email address into the registration for the live. So again, there was 7 of those, and we had to write to them. Well, it was inside, I had to go through it. It took about an hour probably, finding them and seeing which email address seemed to be right, and then writing to them and confirming which email address they were going to use on the next day. So there was that little hiccup, and it was an interesting thing that people could do that at our discovery.
So you didn't use the paid option. You didn't use the paid pricing option.
No, because we had them booked for the course, and then so that meant then they had access to all the recordings after the course, which is what we set up with after the course. We got rid of that button of go and book your place on the live, and we brought back in the curriculum block, and then we put everything they were going to need for the curriculum block here. So this is actually the program. So, and I always like to set up the download first and then the PDF so that they can download it. They can easily see that they can download it if they want it. And then we've got, if they don't download it, they can still read the PDF there. So this is the program. We had instructions about how to use all of this. At the end of the day, we had breakout. We had a third meeting, which was actually set up as an ordinary meeting. And we told them what the breakout themes, the breakout themes evolved during the day, the discussion themes. And then we told them their number. So for each theme, there was a number of the room. And then the third meeting we set up with breakout rooms where you allow participants to choose their room, and then told them the number when they were in the main meeting and said, okay, the breakout room meeting is going to open in like 20 minutes. So then when you go there, you'll see breakout rooms open, and you just click on the number of the one you want to go into. And that worked really well. Most people arrived in their breakout rooms, and I stayed in the main room to help anybody who got stuck. So some people had to move into the right room, or they'd forgotten which number was the topic they wanted. So so that was that, and we put the themes in there. And we shared this on, while we were in the meeting, we shared screen and showed this. So we showed people how they'd be able to get to the recordings and so on. This was a publication that we launched at the symposium, a summary of the latest, most impactful EFT research. And again, we've got that, our designer who did it where you can see the pages open side by side, which looks particularly impressive because of these amazing doodles. I don't know if you can see some of these.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
So it's like a flip book style.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got that now.
Have we? Oh, right.
Yeah. It's e-book lessons.
Oh, so we could even have done that on Zenler. There we are. But we had a
couple of days ago.
Yeah. So, but our designer used this one. Where was it? Oh, go back up. No, I've got to scroll up here. There we are. She used this designer page thing, well, that's great. So next year we can even incorporate that in Zenler. And then we had some slideshows that we showed during the comfort break. So we've just given people the complete experience of the day, because we had people booked from 29 different countries, and they were all in different time zones. So they were joining us some for the morning, some for the afternoon. Our first speaker was actually presenting from Australia, and so we were on Saturday morning, and it was 7 o'clock Saturday evening for her. So and we've just then divided up the recording into each speaker. and we've put them all in into a lesson, so people can just click on the video replay that they want. And before we had them all, because we added them as we got them done, and there's just one which we haven't added. And you see, we set up the lesson title available after a few days, and then as soon as we got the video and loaded it up, then we could delete that, and we just got it ready with the speaker's name. So it all worked really well. Is there anything else you want to see, David?
No, that's really good.
Yeah.
What I was, what was funny is that as you were doing this, you know, these new features were coming out. You must have thought, like, was Zenler doing this specifically for me?
Yeah, it could almost have been like that, but it wasn't quite in time. But obviously you're thinking through at your end, what features do people really need? What's going to be helpful? And it's just also helpful. That went like a dream. I mean, our treasurer is so happy because she had to record all these separate payments last year, and now she's just got a spreadsheet from Stripe, and it's, yeah, saving people so much work.
Yeah. And what did you raise in the end by doing the symposium?
Oh, it was over 16,000 because we had 285 participants, and the early bird was £77, and the actual the proper payment was 97, which everybody thought was a really good fee for the day anyway. And a lot of our volunteers were allowed to come free. So we have, that's one of the perks of volunteering for EFT International. So volunteers could come free. So I mean, it would have been a lot more if every one of those places were paid. But we had a whole series of different coupons. So we had a coupon which gave a members discount. We had a coupon which gave 100% for volunteers. We also had a coupon which said VIP guests, so we could invite guests. That was 100%. And then there was another Eden Energy Medicine members. We did a discount for them as well as for EFT International members. And it was so easy because if we needed something else, we could just add it in and add a coupon. And if we did them as 100% and applied them to both payment plans, that was easy because it was just, you know, they'll get 100% whether they book when it's on the early bird or they book when it's on the full price. So.
Yeah, so it gives you that flexibility. But it sounds like with all these things, you know, it's easy to do all these things in Zenler, but there's a lot of moving parts there. You know, you had to, I know you were like, because Jacqui also run a rehearsal of it. You know, she's following all the things that we say in Zenler is test, test, test. And she's been testing this for a while, asking questions whenever she's joining the Sunday Live. So you can ask questions because you're trying to achieve something. You're trying to, you know, and that was, Jacqui was doing that before we brought out these Zen Zone sessions, which I think will be really helpful to you, Jacqui.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will love those. I haven't had time to get to one yet. But
you've got one thing to do, jump in there and you do it and you get some help as well if you need it.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be super.
Fabulous. Because sometimes I would ask things in the Facebook group, which is brilliant as well. I'm just going to say a big thank you to anybody who's here and listening who's in that Facebook group, because people are so helpful. It's absolutely brilliant. So either that, or if I came along to one of your Sunday mentorings and all the tips, and then talking to you about how to do the live, because we thought we'd let people have their screens on even if they were muted, and then because you said no, that might slow things down. So we took your advice, and it all worked very, very well. We used the pin function, so we prepared a spreadsheet with which speakers exactly when and who was introducing which speaker. It was quite complex because you had to keep bringing different people into the screen. So for each speaker, we had somebody introducing them, then we had the speaker, then we had to pin them with the person who was gathering all the questions from the chat and was going to ask questions. And then we came back to the person who did the introduction and thanking them. And then we had a slideshow to put up. We did a comfort break for 10 minutes in between each speaker. And that we had these slideshows that were on screen during that time. So
yeah, so you gave yourself a little bit of setup time as well to sort of like it's always a good thing because you can have a little bit of a breather, because it's very easy to miss all these little things that you're trying to do when you're running something so big, you know. I'm just so happy for you, Jacqui.
Yeah.
You're like,
it's great. I know. It's like, came to you, like, we've got over 200 people, David. What am I going to do? And it was, and you said, oh, I think you better have a rehearsal. And we did. I mean, we've got teams of volunteers, so we set up a rehearsal and we practiced all the things in the rehearsal and practiced. The other thing is, we found it best to send the link out to people. So I had all the people who were going to need to come in early. I had all their names on an email ready to go. And then as soon as I started the meeting 15 minutes before, I just got the link from the top corner and dropped it into that email and sent it out. So I'd also made them all co-hosts before in the live, but they weren't all getting in with that, I think. And some of them, the link, the email with the link was much more reliable, and I think they felt more comfortable with it as well. So that was an important thing to set up.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about if you do make them a co-host, then when they come in, they are co-hosts. So you haven't got to just assign them co-hosts when they drop in, because you've already done it. Yeah. So that's a good thing to do. I find like it's really good. Like, you know, I sent a message to you, giving you a link to come straight into here.
Yeah.
So if I was running a big one, I'd do exactly what you say. Rather than emails, I would probably try something that's online like WhatsApp or Messenger and set a group up of just your speakers and send them. Yeah. The reason being that it can sometimes maybe emails don't get through, or they might go to spam and then people don't see them. Whereas if you've actually got them live and you're sending it through there, then you know they've got it, I can see. And then if you don't answer to it and I'm coming up to live, I can prepare something else to cover it until you do drop in.
Yeah, so we could do that. Yeah, lots of ways. We did have a WhatsApp group set up, but it needed people to look at it as well. So there were times when we were trying to get messages through, but people weren't actually looking at the group because they were too busy looking at the screen and things like that. So, but it was minor glitches, honestly, and it was very much, that was our first time through, and we'll have it even more like clockwork next time because we had those things, you know.
Yeah, I think if you start using the live lessons, you're guaranteed to get payments from everybody.
Yeah.
And you don't need to use it reoccurring if you didn't want to, because in fact I wouldn't. I would just have them in there because they can just go in there and book and join straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. When at the time that we set it all up, I hadn't learned about the live classes. It was like, well, what's live? I didn't make sense of it. And then I came to one of your mentorings on that, and I thought, oh, that's right. Yeah, I should have used that. And I've been using that for my own business because we've got the EFT International Zenler account, and I've also got my EFT Devon Zenler account. So which is much smaller scale, of course, but I do little tapping groups and things, and I'm just doing that all with live classes now. That's much better. So it's great.
Yeah, brilliant. So thank you so much, Jacqui, for coming on, telling everyone. I know there are people that have said, oh, I'd really like to know a bit more about what Jacqui did for the symposium and stuff. So I'm so happy that you came on here. So I'm going to send that link out to those people that wanted that, because they want to show their people that you can actually run a symposium or a summit using Zenler, and you've proved it. So. Oh,
absolutely. And it was better than we've ever done one before. So thank you, Zenler. You're amazing. Thank you, you guys.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jacqui, for joining us.
Thanks.
See you later.
See you. Bye.
Well, there we go. We had Jacqui on there. And so running symposiums, running summits, you know, lots and lots of moving parts, can be quite complex to put together. But what Jacqui did, she was following our best practices. She did certain things like she tested everything. She tested all the automations, all the emails. She tested that everything was set. She double checked everything. She ran a full rehearsal with people as well. I actually came in at the end of that and gave a few extra pointers as well, because it's such a, she was running such a big thing, you know, and the success of that summit comes from her dedication to finding out about all the moving elements that she needs. I cannot mention how many times Jacqui has been on Sunday Lives or popped up somewhere, and her thing is she's working on something, she's very goal orientated, and she puts the questions down. She wants the answers for those questions, and generally they're quite easy to do, or she wants a reassurance, and then she goes and implements them straight away. And that's why I said that the Zenler sessions are absolutely amazing for this sort of thing. If you've got a goal in mind and you're like, well, I don't quite know, jump into a Zenler session. The experts in there will put you on the right track. You'll be left to do your work, and you'll have an accomplished and a goal at the end of it. I think it's just crucial that you're testing things all the time. We have it all the time in the Facebook group, asking questions about certain things, and I'm like, well, just test it. You know, it does this. That's what it does. But it's simpler for you to just test these things out, like 100% coupon. Go and create a coupon, test it, and make sure it's working. These sort of things. It's really quick for you to do it. You don't need to ask and wait maybe a day for an answer, when you could just jump straight into the platform, do all your testing. So as long as you know how to test as a student, you'll be absolutely fine. So I'm going to just have a look at the chat, see what's going on. So we got Rakesh is on. We got Tracy, she Australian time, so she's around. Good to see you, Tracy. I've already helped Luann out, and Kat for the ebook. I've mentioned about that already. Will we ever be able to track leads from affiliate links? Leads from affiliate links. It would be a huge incentive for affiliates. I think Rakesh might be able to answer that one. We've got a series of things we're doing, big things we're doing, and we're running those through. So until they're finished, we're not going to be adding extra features. I know you guys keep asking for features, but just remember this. Zenler is the most prolific new feature platform out there. In this month alone, I think we've done 2 or 3 new features gone in. We're still working at the same time. We're working on other things that are coming on, some of the bigger features like the Page Builder 2.0 that we've talked about for a long time. It's a very big job, guys. You know, be patient with us on this, because it is the backbone to what you guys are doing. We're not changing the way that it's working. We don't want it to, we want it to be faster. We want it to have room for expansion later. And this is the only reason why it's taking so long, all right? It's checking all these things. It's huge. It will speed everything up. It will mean that we can add new features on top of it, like page templates and new block templates, and page templates that will be updated, and they will come out regularly so that you can pick designs, and so it takes away that designer. At the moment, if you look in the tutorials.newzenler.com site and you go into the NZ Masterclass bundle, you go to Zenler Extras, you'll find that we have Zenler templates in there. These are a series of small templates that have been set up to help you out, plus certificates. But we will be replacing that, because Zenler is going to build this Page Builder 2.0 and put these page themes in that you can just click and format your site. And so your site is going to run. So these are big things. Also communities. People have been asking about communities. These are big things. We don't launch things before they're ready and fully tested. So that's why we don't give ETAs, because it might be a case that we've tested it and then we test it again and we find something. And if we, in the meantime, if we said that's coming out on that date, we've got to fix, and we'll be letting you down. So that's why we don't give ETAs out. Just bear with us on lots of these things. So Kat, hopefully Rakesh can jump in there and tell you the answer to that. We haven't got Rakesh on today. We haven't got Kevin on today. Kevin was going to come on, but the subject he was picking was going to take him probably about an hour to do. So he's coming on next month because our slot is filled. I wanted to get Jacqui in there talking about symposium because these are real world case studies. And this is what you guys want to see. You want to see actual instructors making money, 16,000 in this case, and knowing how that it helps as well. The fact that it's taken away lots of time-consuming things is amazing. So I got Anita. Hi, Anita. Wondering about the app. I have contacted support 3 times asking when my content will be on app. I'm told it's being tested. It's been 2 months now. So yeah, sorry, Anita, I cannot really give you, I can't say yay or nay. I think a lot of people have registered for the app. So if you were a bit later registering, getting your app on there, then maybe that's why they haven't got around to it. So, I mean, I've tested 2 sites out and they all work fine on mine. So they've set mine up, but they just need a bit of time. So they should come back to you. If not, just send them another email, just giving them a little bit of a nudge. But they are busy doing a lot of stuff as we are. But sorry, Anita, we will get to it for sure. And remember, we haven't had the full launch of the app yet. You know, at the moment, we're kind of launching, but we're soft launching. So we're letting you guys try it out. It's not, we haven't actually launched fully. When we do, it's going to be integrated into the site admin under the apps, and you'll be able to choose a different theme. So a dark theme and a light theme. It'd be very cool. So it's a kind of soft launch. So Anita's saying, I sent an email the same day it was announced. That's why I'm so puzzled. Thank you, David. You're right. Okay, so it was announced, right? But we did actually invite a few people that have got lots of sites and things, some more of our old power users, and they were actually adopted onto the platform first for their direct feedback on the app. I know Tracy's got the app. Tracy's got the app on there. She's on. So I think they did hers. But I'm sorry, Anita, you dropped through the gap a little bit. Maybe chase them again. They should get to it, or they at least give you some sort of comment on there. Yeah, again, Anita, apologies, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. So, right, so we're going to be having Manmeet come up in about an hour. So I'm going to take a little break now, and then we're going to be back, and I'm going to introduce a new feature on A Day with Zenler. And what have I called it? I have called it the Mind Bending Session. So this is called Zenler Mind Bending Session. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some things that could like throw your mind a little bit, but I think you'll like it. So this is inspired from Sunday's Live. I was showing people, and I'm going to show you today, this is what the feature is going to be about today. I was showing about how you can use rows. You can use rows in rows and rows. And people were like just looking at me like, are you mad? But it really works. And I just want to show you how you can extend it. I'm going to show you another little thing as well, which is a touch on a little bit of CSS coding. So I know you guys, like, because Zenler is powerful, you definitely need to know that you, especially for you guys that are more experienced or your developers more, Zenler has the power to accept scripts, has the power to show HTML, embedded code, a variety of things. And one of those things is CSS coding. Now, CSS, you might be like, but I'm not a coder. I don't want to get into it. Honestly, it's not that hard. Tracy, I know she's just put a question on there. So I know you're there, Tracy. What course do you love best? Which course do you love best on the tutorial site? Just put it in the chat. I know what she's going to say because she loves it. So, and she says she's not she's not techie or anything like that, and she did this course. She follows this course through, and she found it very easy to use. Ninja tricks, there you go. So live straight in there, she's put ninja tricks. She loves it. And she has worked through and added these things in there. We do try and do it in a really, it's not high-end coding, you know, it's not like programming. It's just basically taking snippets of code, dropping it in, seeing the result. You can't break it. You just remove the code. If it's breaking your site, you remove the code. So in the mind bending session, we're going to look a little bit of CS code. And I'm going to do something that I did for someone the other day, which will show you how to globally change a body text in your site with one piece of code, and for it to ripple, and it will ripple through your whole site. It will not, it will be exactly the same throughout the whole site. Even if you've gone into your page builder and changed the sizes of your text, it will just zero it back to what the code we put in there. So CSS is used a lot because it is a way of controlling the look and feel of your site by changing little bits of code, and that will change across your whole site. So I'll be showing you that. First thing I'm going to show you is rows. Next thing I'm going to show you is a little bit of CSS, just to show you how easy it is to implement. And then I'm going to point you to the course where we have coding so you can have a look. You can do some really amazing things, and it's worth bringing it up. It's not something I'm going to do every week, but these mind-bending sessions they're supposed to blow your mind. So I'm going to have a little break now. I hope you like this new format that we're doing as well, with these fade in, fade outs. I'll be actually showing you how I do all this, and I can't wait to show you how I do it actually, because what we're using here is we're using OBS. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring out a series of videos. One is how to stream like this and do these cuts and fades. So things like this, if I just jump quickly across from here, and then I jump quickly back to here, you can see that nice fade between the two. Now, I'm going to be showing you how to do that and how to stream it in there. There are some technical elements, but it's nothing too major. I'm also going to tell you how you can use OBS to actually record your screen, how to record cutting, fading PowerPoint presentations, and how to do it live. What will that mean? That will mean if you record it correctly, you will need no editing program. It will do all the fades for you as we work live. These are things that are coming up that I think are going to blow your mind. OBS, completely free. Doesn't cost you a penny. So I can't wait to get into this. And this is what we're using today to show you this. Be talking a bit more about that later. So I'm going to have a quick break now. I'll be back in a second, and we'll be getting on with the mind bending session. Welcome back. So, right, Tracy asked a question. She's having problems. She was asking for the best software for creating an ebook so that it works with the new ebook lesson that we've got. So I did a test of this on Canva, and in Canva you can create a PDF. So you just export it out as a PDF file. I'm just going to flick up my Canva account just to show you just how you do this. So you can create your slides as normal. And I'll be sharing my screen in a second. Let me just go to this one here, right? So 2 seconds. Okay, so I got a YouTube challenge document that I gave out when we were running, me and Alice were running the YouTube challenge. And I want to just show you quickly this here. So let me go to screen share. So yeah, there you can see the PDF. So the slideshow of the Canva. So what you can do is you can just go and you can actually just download this. If you go to download, you can choose here, you can choose PDF, but just choose the standard. You don't want to use the print for this kind of thing, just use the standard layout. Make sure there's no animation going on in any of your slides, otherwise it might not work inside of the flipbook style for the ebook lesson type, okay? So as long as there's no weird stuff going on inside here, it will render it out nicely. So stay away from animations and those kind of things. As long as it's flat, then it should all work fine. So hopefully that sorted you out. Now, I also use a program called Adobe Illustrator to produce PDFs from it. And even inside of Photoshop, you can also export as a PDF file. You might need to collate the pages together inside of Photoshop, but you can do that as well. So there are programs to do it. Obviously, Canva you can use for free as well, and you might have a paid plan account, so that will work for that as well. All right, so hopefully that's helped you out, Tracy. So watch out for any special effects or anything that you've put into it, because that potentially could cause problems, okay? So hopefully that's helped you, Tracy. So we're going to jump in. So hopefully we can jump into this now. Right, okay. Sorry, I just had a warning come up on my live stream saying I was playing music, which is illegal, but it was actually free music. So maybe it's pulled it in for Facebook. Facebook does these funny things. You need to watch out for that. So, right, so I'm going to jump into a little bit of screen sharing now. And we're going to jump in to our good doggy site. So here we go. This is the mind bending session. All right. And what we're going to look at today is rows in rows. So as I always do, I like to have a template page that I've set up to show you. You can see I've already got one here. So, but to create these pages for testing purposes, I have them and I don't publish them. Now, it still means that you can preview it because you can click the preview pane, but you know, bear in mind that if it's unpublished, so you might check this, it might be unpublished, you might check it, go, oh, my page looks really good. I'll just join that to the menu or whatever, grabbing this link. But if it's unpublished, if people are viewing the site, they will not see that page. That's tip number one. Only published content people can see. Okay, so that's really important. So let's go in and add a page, and I'll just call it Mind Bending Session. All right. Drop that in there. Notice I haven't hit the published, and I'm going to click add. Before I click add, notice down there, you can also make pages, even if they're published pages, you can make them only visible to logged in users. So this is good as well. If you want to just not let that content go to people that haven't bought anything in your course, you could actually do that. So let's click add. And I'm going to talk about rows and what you can do with them and things that you didn't know about rows. Remember, we use rows to set up different columns inside our site. Really powerful, really integrated part of Zenler itself. And you'll also notice that if you go in the big blue block, remember blue blocks hold the content that's in there. You can set multiple blue blocks to hold different content. So this is kind of the master holder for your whole page. They won't have anything in it. If you're starting new like this, nothing's in here. You can, of course, go to blocks and you could drag blocks in, pre-designed blocks like call to action blocks we have here. You could just drag those straight in there, use them as a base, or you can start from a empty block like this. So if I was deleting this out, let me just delete it out. Let's start from scratch. What it's done is it's gone to blocks, empty block, and then we drag that empty block in there and we're back to where we were. So that's how you can create an empty block. You'll also notice at the bottom here, you've got, if you click left mouse hold inside this, where it goes like this color, yeah, you can drag left mouse, hold that button and drag it, and you can actually set the height of the content within that box. You can drag it right up to 0 if you wanted to. A little tip, if you're dragging from down here and you click and hold and drag it, it kind of runs out. It can run out of space. So if that's the case, just drag it a little bit, then go back up to the top of the block, click and drag it again. Same with this. So click, drag it. And you'll notice if I go too fast, it can drop out, but you can drag it. It's not doing it today, but it did it the other day. Maybe they fixed it. So yeah, just if it doesn't drag enough, just stop, reposition it and drag it again. And that way you can say it. And it tells you how many pixels it is there from the top. So from this line here down to here, this is 138 pixels. This is 207. So if I wanted to make it 200, I'd just go in here and just get near enough 200 there. Right, so that's the main block area. So in a block, you know, you can go in here, you can change the background color, you could put an image in there. You can also say full width as well. So it stretches this right out. Look at this box in the middle when I click full width. Notice it goes really big. So you could do it full width as well. Turn that on and off. Right, so let's now add a row. So this is the interesting bit. So I'm going to get into add a row. Let's go and drag a row of 50 and 50. Now, although we have set these rows up for you here, and we've given you the kind of common layouts, so 50, 50, 50, 2 columns, 1 row, you know, 3/4, and then a quarter, and then et cetera, and a quarter, 1/3, and these kind of things. You can change these around. You don't have to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can actually just add columns or had columns inside a row. So I'm going to start off with this. So 1 row. So now what you're going to see in here is I've got a little green bit. This means that this is a row. All right, this is a row in here. And let me just close that. And if you click on the edge of that row, you're going to get the options come up for that row. Okay, so this is 1 row. Let me just delete that out again. And let me just put the next one in. Let's just put a 50-50 in there. So if I go into here, I can just choose this one. It'll give me a 50-50 row. Look, see, like that. But we can manipulate this even in here. And this is a little bit of a mind-bending tip for you. If you've got a row set up like this, if I wanted to delete out this row, all I need to do, or this column of this row, all I need to do is place my cursor in here so you can see it goes checkered around the edge, that little dash. And right-hand click, and it gives me more options. So it's like, did you even know this existed? Right-hand click. And let's click delete column, not row, because that will delete the whole row. Bang. Click confirm. It's now 1 column, 1 row. Let's click in here and let's click add a new column. And I've brought it back. So let's do it in this one again. Let's just add a new column in here. So now I've got 3. Oh, what also is great about this is that I can delete this out, this column, and delete. Otherwise, ask you to confirm. And if you click in the middle, what I've got here is a little thingy. It's actually a separator. Now, on Sundays Live, Jacqui was talking about this, and we decided to call it Jacqui's little thingy. So if you're watching this, Jacqui, that is a kudos to you there. So this is the little thingy that you can move across. So you notice between these separators, you can click and hold with your left mouse button, and you can drag, and it will give you set places you can drop to. It's not a free drag. It's kind of like just locks it in on places. So if I wanted to do that 3/4, I could come over here, and now I've created that. So in here, I can move this back, and again, I can go to 50% again, or not quite 50%, 50% there. So you have the ability to change those column spacings in there, which is really cool. But the question was asked, how do I, because if I color this in, let me go to the settings of this row, and let me go and choose a background color. So I'm going to choose something like this nice blue here. So I've put this in blue. So how do I change? How do I make this cell or this row a different color? Because I've got no options. It's like, so what do? Put a row in a row. Right, so a lot of people just start adding their images in here, and then they're they're off, and then later on they might say, oh, actually I just wanted that different color text or something. And this is where the power of having rows inside row helps. Now by default, what I do for every design that I do, mainly probably 80-90% of the time, is I always put a row inside a row. The reason I do that, it gives me more control. If you look at the row settings here, you'll see that you have spacing and padding. So this gives you extra control over this area, but it also gives you control. If you had a row inside a row, you could actually harness the power of that row's settings as well. This is where it gets mind bending. So let's go and add a new row in here. So you don't really see a lot happening, but there is actually now a new row inside there. Look, I've got the options just for that row. I've got the main row outside, but I've got the options for that row inside there. You can keep building on this. You could put a row inside a row. So let's go there, and we've got the settings for that. In this one, it hasn't got a row in it, so I've got that. I've got no setting option inside that box. So let's go first of all to this row and click across and put in something like a white. So now I have that in there. So now I can add my content in here. So I could come in here and I could come into the text and I could drop some text in here and obviously format it. I've got some lovely text now running through it. Elements are red, so they all have their own setting gear icon in there as well. And I could also do it this side. So I could come into this side, drop this row in here, and now I've got that row in a row, and I'm going to drop an element. So I'm going to go and drop something like an image. We've got some nice doggy images on here. Let's drop something like happy dog there. So you can see I've got my happy dog inside there. By the way, if I click this, I can also reduce the size of this image inside there as well. If I can click and drag, so I can reduce it. Generally, it's best to make sure your images are not too big for the page. You can do that using Canva or something. So you can see I can actually resize that image in there. But it's still inside a row. You know, this is the important thing. It's actually inside a row. When you've done those changes. Let's click there. See, I've still got that row. So I could go into the settings for that row and then I could change that color. Let's change it to the light gray. So you can see that I've now colored that row, not the main row. I've got that in there. Now I could also say for that image, maybe I want that image on the right hand side. So if I'm in the settings for this row in a row, you can go to the vertical and you can go right and it will jump right. You've also got the control of padding in here as well. So you could increase padding on the top, for instance, to give you more top height there. You could even pad the right. It will push in from there. I could pad out the left hand side, pushing the image in. Of course, I could take the image again and I could stretch it so it fills that row up like that. So you've got real control in here. Underneath that image, I might go and say I want a corner radius on this. So I'll just put a corner radius. I might want a border. I might want a solid border going around the outside. So I choose a border. I can choose a nice color. Let's just choose a blue. Let's choose a lighter blue, something like that. And then I can put a width in here. Let's put a width of 4. So now you're going to see it's got a nice border around there. Now, of course, I could come in here and reset that background color. And I can use clear. See, this is a checker for clear. Now, I could select the same blue as this, but if I select clear, it's just going to show that color through. So it's got no color applied to it now. So you've got real control in there now on all of these things. Now, not only is this good for control of elements inside of a rows inside of a row, because you've got that control over this row and you've got the control over the master row, but it also means that you can do cool things. So for instance, I could put a background image behind this. So if I chose the settings here, I could come into background image here and I could put a nice background image behind that. Let's just choose something like this. Let's choose this one here. So now you can see there's an image behind there. If I make this a bit smaller, it'll be a bit clearer. See that? So you can do something like that. Plus I could, if I wanted to, put a background image behind the master row, you know, the bottom row here. So I can change these out really quickly. I could put an image behind here. Let's choose a different image. So it's going to look a bit crazy. This is why I said it's mind-bending stuff. Let's choose, let's just choose one of these. So now I've got that image behind there. And of course, I've got the control here over the padding as well. So if I want to show a bit more of that image, I can come up there. I can pad this across here. I could take this bit in the middle here, drag it that way, make it a bit smaller, and I've created something. And of course, then I could take this row on this side, and I could get rid of the color like that. Also, I'd probably make the text, it's not showing very clearly, but you know, you can get the idea. So you can actually put these rows inside a row to control stuff. Now you might be saying, well, all of this is kind of in the middle. I'd like it all to be at the top. No problem. We just need to go to the master row, click the gear icon, and where we've got vertical alignment, we're just going to choose top. Let's click top. Bang, all jumps up. So it's now in line with this, and it's based on that padding. So if I move the padding up or down like this, you're going to see it all go up together like that. But because we've also got the row in a row, I could actually offset this as well. So this is a real kind of like, you know, you can really change things so much inside Zenler. So I got this spacing at the top and bottom. Notice if I moved it up, it's now flush with this. And I can move this up here, and I can even offset it. So if I wanted to, I could move this box out, even though it's in this main row, I could move it outside that row. So let's go to here, and let's go -30, and it's jumped out. So let's go on the right-hand side, -30 right-hand side. So now I've pushed it out of the main row. Can you see that? That's where the row is. Let me just change that image over. And I've seen people do this where they want their page to be like this, and then they want the image slightly offset. This is how you can do it. Check responsively, though, that it's working. Sometimes it can cause problems. So I'm going to go in here and just delete this image out. By the way, to delete an image out, just select it all. Let's double click inside the image, the background image, and then just double click it so it's selected and hit the backspace, and it will disappear. Okay, so you got it back. So now we've got that image in there. I could take this one and clear it out. This, I'm going to give you just how people would normally do it. So let me just come in here, get rid of that. Let me take this and 0. By the way, you can just turn this off. If you don't want a border, you can just click none. And I'm going to stretch this again like that. Good. So I can also do the same with the actual element as well. So if I put in here -30, you're going to see it's going to jump up and it's going to jump across. So I can put -20 in there. Oh, that's at the bottom, sorry, right-hand side. Okay, doesn't matter. There you go, it's jumped out. So that's how people can get that kind of look and feel. So once I save that, I can then go and test it. So I'm going to go into the preview now. Let's just save and preview that. Okay, so there it is, and we've got that nice offset going on there. So that's how you can do it. So the main thing to take away from what we've just spoken about is the ability to be able to control your content better if you used a row inside a row. Not just for the spacing and the padding, but also if you decided to put a background color behind that particular block, but you wanted the edge to show through. If you wanted to put a background image behind it, you could also do it using that as well. And remember, you can put more content into the row inside a row by just clicking in the element and clicking plus. So if you click plus, you can then go in there and add new things like buttons in there. So if I click that button, you now see that I've got a nice button rolling through there. which again, you can go into the settings for. So that is the thing that I absolutely adore about Zenler, is this ability to be able to pretty much pixel perfect, make everything you like inside Zenler. And I haven't, and I've looked around all the other platforms, I haven't found a platform that is so versatile. That's why, as a designer, that's why I enjoy working in Zenler. And you'll see that echoed from a lot of the other designers on the group that say, oh, it's really good because I've got that kind of control over it. And this is just the tip of the iceberg as far as this sort of stuff goes, because we're going to look at next how you could apply CSS and how it can globally just apply itself to every part of the page. So with that in mind, I'm going to be dropping another block in here, and I'm going to just make a change on some text. So I'm going to take this text and I'm going to come into the settings, and I'm going to make this text really small. I'm actually going to make it about 10 point in here, 10 pixels in here. So really small. Then I'm going to duplicate this out, and I'm going to make it now, this one, 24. So we're changing this around. So the goal is here, I want to apply some code that takes every paragraph text, which this is, and actually just makes it one size. Because maybe if I've got 100 pages on my website, and all of the pages I've got different sizes for all the paragraph text, and I want it all to remain consistent and be the same size. So we're going to look at CSS and how we can do that. So I'm just going to save this now. I'm going to look at the group and see if you've asked any questions in there. Okay, so moving on, let's go and have a look at a little bit of CSS coding in here. So I'm going to jump back into my page. I'm just going to share this. And here we go. So I'm going to add a bit of CSS that will actually change this size so it's exactly the same. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to do it. So I'm using Chrome to do this, so just bear that in mind. So if I right hand click and I go down to, in Chrome, I right hand click, go down to inspect, I'm going to get a little box come up like this. Yours might be docked to the side. I'm going to go in and I'm going to click this little icon here, and I'm going to go down, I'm going to inspect it. And if you click it, you're going to see that, well, actually, if you don't click it, if you go over here, you're going to see that it's actually got a tag, p.margin -top -10.margin bottom. Well, we don't need all that. We just need p. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to change the font size. So this is the font size that particular piece is at, 24. So I'm going to copy that there. Okay, you can see if I turn that off, it will change. So I'm going to copy that, Control C, copy. I'm going to jump now into my page. So I'm applying this style just to this page. So let's go into the page at the top, page settings. And when my little box come up, it says page CSS. I'm going to click in here and I'm going to put the tag, which was P. So I'm going to put P. Then I'm going to put an open parenthesis like this. I'm going to do 2 drops down, close parenthesis, and inside here, I'm going to put that copy text, which was font 24. Now I'm going to change this. I'm going to make it really dramatic, and I'm actually going to put it at 35, so it's much bigger. Now at the end, after the semicolon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that semicolon. I'm going to use an exclamation mark, and I'm going to put the word important in there, and then I'm going to close it with a semicolon. Okay. Now I'm going to click update here. Watch what happens to my page when I've done this. Now you can't see anything on here, but if I save this, those changes will take effect on this page. If I refresh this page now, you're going to see that it's not working. This is the beauty of live. All right, I put impotent. I need to put important. Right, you should be seeing this on the preview. So let's just click that again. Okay, you can instantly see what's happened here. So look what's happened. It's now made this all of it, even though it's a different size, it's made it the same size because it's overridden the settings. And that's what is powerful about CSS. So if I come into here now, you're going to see this small text and big text, all the same size. So this is per page. So I've done this on this page, but I can also do it for every page of the site. So if we go over this with Inspector again, I've got the Inspector. You'll see it's saying here 35 point, so this font 35 point Open Sans. It does the same for this one, and it's got that P at the beginning of it. So I can change this to a more sensible size. Let's make a more sensible size. Let's go to page settings. Let's put this on something like 14 or 16 and click update. Okay. So now it's gone to a 16 pixel size. And if I go into here and refresh this, you're going to see that this will change to the correct size once I save it, of course. And once again, you will see this will go to now 16. So I've done that in that page, just using a little bit of code, just a little bit of code there. And you can find more of this in the Ninja Tricks course. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to globally apply this to every page of your site. So I'm going to go wild with this, and I'm going to put this down at like 5 pixels, which is really so small. I'm just doing this to show you how it goes through your whole site. Let's click update. Before I click update, I'm just going to copy this so I can take this code in a second. And we'll click update. So this is going to go really small now. Now this is just one of the things. You can do millions of things. Look how small that font is. Maybe that's a little bit too small. Let's make it a little bit bigger than that. So let's go in here. You can have some real fun with this. So I'm going to go in here and just put 10. And let's click and update that. Okay. So this is 10 now. So there you go. It's a little bit bigger, but not much. Right, so you can see I can do that per page. So if I save that and I go back in, refresh this, it's all going to come down to that 10 point. Again, if I mouse over it, you can see it says 10 pixels. Okay, so let's go now and take this and reset it. So I'm going to open the page up. And this is good. This is the great thing about it. You can add code. If you mess it up, you can remove it. So I'm just going to come in there. I'm going to take this code and I'm going to Control X to cut it. And I'm going to click update. Right. So this will go back to what it was before you set it. Yeah. So it's perfect. Right. So what I want to show you now is how that little bit of code, how you could globally apply it to every page. Okay, now we offer no support with this code stuff we're doing, CSS. This is just if you want to use it for small things, don't do anything too major. Look at the Ninja Tricks course that I'll show you, and that will help you out. But I'm going to apply this globally to every page. So let's go into our our Good Doggy site. And I'm just going to show you the site. So you can see I've got lots of stuff going on in this site. Let's go to the About Us page. Just close that. So let's go to the About Us page, and you can see I've got lots of text in here. You can see that there's not a ton of text, but if I go to sort of cancelling your, that's not the right page. Yeah, the About Us page has got some text. So let's go into here. And I'll show you how to do it. Right, so to apply it to every page, what we need to do is we need to go into Site, and we need to go across to Global Includes. So inside the Global Includes, you can see I've already got some CSS in there. I've already put some in there. So I need to be careful here. I need to actually put this, take this code and put it here. So let me just copy this code because I just don't want to delete this code out. What you'll see me doing is opening a WordPad because I need to just make sure I don't delete this code out. Right, so just temporarily I've put it in here so I can apply it when I finish this tutorial. So this was my copied code from the page. So it's a little bit different here. This is not a area just for CSS code. This is an area for JavaScript, analytics, Facebook Pixel. But what is good about this is what you put in here will be applied to all of the pages, not the course player. You'd have to set up a new one in here for course player, but it's for all the pages. So course player being curriculum. So there's a little exception with this. When you're putting a style, a CSS style, inside of all pages, you need to do one thing. You need to do a little tag like this. So that is the back arrow. Then you need to type in their style, and then you need a closing style. Then you can put your CSS in there. And then after that, you then close the style up. So you have the back arrow, backslash, then you put style, and then backslash. That's it. So you just need to, if you're putting more CSS in here, you would put it in between those style tags. So I would do that just so that it's encompassing that. So any scripts, Google Analytics, JavaScript, you could put in underneath this. You would put it down here. This indicates that it's a CSS style. Okay, this is the open tag. This is the close tag. This is the style description for that tag. So I'm now going to click update. And what you're going to see when I refresh my page inside here, when I go to the About Us page, your text is really small. Look, because it's applied it. It's applied it to every page. So if I went and made this 20 and clicked update, and I went back in here and I click refresh, bang, it's appeared at 20. Let's go mad. Let's make it 40. And you're going to see that it will now go massive. So if I refresh this, now you can see it's huge. And every place that I've got paragraphs of text, you're going to see that that text is going to be at that size. So you can see it's there. It's gone over the top. So it's actually taken the text inside here and it's made it really big as well. So you have to be really careful with this stuff, but it is a powerful way of being able to control the data. Be able to control the style in the site. So that is my second mind-bending thing of this day with Zenler. So there we go. So I know that's a lot to take in. Just take it easy. So what I'm going to show you now is our tutorial site where you can actually go and you can view these courses where I'm doing all this stuff. Now, obviously, I'm on a day with Zenler, so I'm going through things fairly quickly. But the course that you need to go into to view this stuff, you can find easily. It's not often I mention Ninja Tricks, so I thought for a change, it would be good to show you where it is. Go to tutorials.zenler.com, come down here, make sure that you're joined up with the NZ Masterclass bundle. If you're not, you need to click here and you need to enroll. If you're already in there, you need to go to Zenler Extras and you need to go down to the Advanced Ninja Tricks here. And inside here, this will show you. We offer no support because it is code, but it's very easy to follow. So we do things on how to apply style changes, how to change the logo size inside your site, having fun with it as well, styling the course curriculum. So we show you how to use a parallax effect. We show you how to create sticky header. All these sort of things. I'm going to show you a site where I've applied a fair few changes. It's a test site and it uses some advanced things from more advanced than the Ninja Tricks. But a lot of them are in the Ninja Tricks course. So I want to just flick that site. It's an actual dummy break dancing site. And there's some cool things going on in there. So let me just flick that up for you, show you what's going on. So let me share the screen here. So here it is here. This is a breakdance site. So it's got loads of stuff. Look how the heading is blended into the background. Look how when I bring this up, the heading is not changing. The sticky header, it's a sticky header, so it's staying there. Look at the way this is parallaxing over the top. Look at this little guy spinning. And look at this is all in here. And different videos automatically playing inside here. There's even a game in here. There's even a game. So you can go into this game and you can play this little game in here where you're trying to eat fish. So you're clicking and trying to eat the fish here. This is all in Zenler, right? This is just an external app that I've put in there, but you can, you know, as a shark, you can really have fun with it. So it adds a, like, imagine you could put this into your courses as well. So there you go. You can have a real bit of fun with using those tricks. So make sure if you're interested, jump into the Ninja Tricks course, because I think you'll love it. We have Manmeet on with us today, and she's going to be talking about funnels. So we hopefully the second part of this will have no glitches. We've got Manmeet, she's going to be on for an hour with us, so giving us a lovely long session. Also gives you a chance to meet her and for her to show us her stuff as well. So yeah, thank you for coming on, Manmeet. It's really good to meet you at last. Officially on the lives.
Yes, I mean, we've been looking forward to it for a long time, and now finally we're doing this.
Brilliant. All right, I'm going to pass it over to you, and you can do your presentation, and I'll just come in at the end of it.
All right, thank you.
See you later.
Hello, everyone. Whoever's tuning in, a big hello from India. My name is Manmeet Kaur. I'm a web design business coach, helping web designers earn a consistent revenue. And with Zenler, as an assistant product educator, I've been running Zen Zone since the last month. And one of the most common questions I had my fellow educators ask me was, can I redo a ClickFunnels designs into new Zenler? That is when, you know, I went back to my days when I started. And here is a quick story. When I started out as a coach, I was introduced to ClickFunnels as a beginner. While the platform offered a solution, I couldn't be on the platform any longer than the 14 days because I couldn't bear $99 a month. And later, one of my mentors introduced me to New Zenler. And that's when I redid my entire ClickFunnels designs to New Zenler within those 14 days. Now that comes to, one question, that whether we are talking about New Zenler or we are talking about ClickFunnels, why are funnels so popular? So to begin with, I can also answer this question with another story. You know, by now you might have understood that how I love stories. So just a second, let me check who all are tuning in. All right. So, you know, whether we are talking about ClickFunnels or whether we are talking about New Zenler, the question is that why are funnels so popular? And I told you that I'll be sharing this with another story because I love stories. So let's consider, you know, it's my birthday and we visit this variety of options and a lot of time to decide what to order. And by the end of it, there's just less time left to talk, interact, and have the, you know, delicious food that we've ordered. Now, sorry to break it to you, but that's exactly what a website is. When a customer or a prospect lands on your website, it just takes them too much time to consume the heavy information visible on our website. And it's, you know, practically difficult for them to understand where to go, what to consume, and what to leave, and where exactly to take that call to action. Because at one point of time, a customer or a prospect can take one call to action. They cannot be practically, you know, taking multiple calls to action and becoming a part of various services or offers that we have on our website. Now, this is one scenario wherein we go to a restaurant with variety of options and then a lot of time is lost to understand what to order. As a second option, you know, again, it's my birthday. I enter this restaurant with a special dish on the menu, only selling this one item that's delicious. I quickly take a seat and within minutes, my meal is served because no time is gone in what to order. There's just one thing being ordered on the menu, on the table. And I quickly take a seat and have the lovely meal that's being served to me. Now, my friends, that's a funnel. You know, you make your audience focus on what's actually needed for them to solve their problem without the distractions. Now, with the now practically in a restaurant, this is not possible, but this is just an example to tell you that in a restaurant, when you have the entire menu, you kind of have a lot of distractions: what to order, what not to order, which beverage should I go with, which starter should I go with, and there's so much on the menu. But with a funnel, with a single dish, you exactly know that, the problem, if we may say, the problem of hunger is, or the point that we are here to celebrate, is only going to be solved by this one dish that's available. And quickly you set your sight, you set your eye on that one dish. And having said that, the funnel is focusing on one particular thing that helps your customers solve their problem immediately, because the entire center of focus is that one thing that you're offering to your customers. Now, why is a funnel important? Like, there has to be reasons that people are, following funnels, making funnels. Why is a funnel important? Number one, it saves a lot of time. Like we saw, that you don't really have to invest a lot of time in understanding. Or if I talk as a business owner, if I talk on a prospect of a business owner, your customers, your clients, your prospect leads do not have to think that which one should I go for. They exactly know that where they do have to put their focus on. And secondly, it's one page. You will spend a lot of time in creating entire website, and there is, cycles that go with your developers and designers, weeks and months and even years. Being a web design agency, I've, spent 1 year in publishing one website. So that's the kind of time that goes, and it's a one-page website. So you quickly do it within days and within hours as well. And I have been repeatedly saying it focuses on that one thing, that one big thing that you want your audience to focus on. And a funnel is exactly what is required to convert a prospect lead from click to convert. As soon as they click on your funnel, within steps, within minutes, they can convert if you've done it correctly, if you've set up your funnel, if you've done your things correctly. Now I know that you might have a question that I have multiple products to offer, or I have multiple services to offer. How do I manage? How do I put everything inside a funnel? And can I put my services inside a funnel and then sell it? Well, it's a simple question, and there is a simple answer. If you have multiple services, you need multiple funnels. Why am I saying this? Is because, I'm sure each service and product is suited for different business types. For example, let's say you are a clothing brand. So you might have clothing separate for men, women, and children. So inside one funnel, if it's an e-commerce funnel, inside one funnel, if I put all the three products together, and we make all the three audience come on that one funnel, we won't be successful and the cart will not be filled. It is advisable to keep three funnels, one for the men, one for the women, and one for the children, focusing exactly on how we need to talk to them. The best thing about a funnel is that when you're going through the entire copy, images, or whatever is on the funnel, your prospect should really feel that, damn, this is talking to me. Like, this is who I am. This funnel is made for me. This is exactly what I needed. That's the power of a funnel. And now when I say that, again, answering the question, different audience, different funnels. If you have 5 services, go for 5 funnels and apply the 80-20 rule, which is that one service that is driving 80% revenue in your business. If you have 5 services, 5 products, there has to be one or either 2 of the products that has majority in your business, that's driving 80% of the revenue. So focus on that. Now, there is one more important question that comes as a part of funnels, that what exactly should a funnel consist of? Now, the most important thing is a bold promise. By a bold promise, I mean a strong marketing message. This is something that you have to go out to your audience and say that, hey, this is what, you're troubling. This is what you're struggling with. And I have a solution for this. And I promise you that I can get you this if you go through the XYZ process. If you do ABC, I promise you XYZ results. That's the bold promise that your funnel should have as a headline. And then there should be clear CTAs, and have one format of CTA. When I say one format of CTA, which is call to action, it means one color, one font, one shape, through the entire page, so that when any of your customer, any of your prospect lead is looking through that funnel, they do not get distracted by different colors, different designs, different setups. There's this just one button that's kind of, creating an impression in their mind that this is where my solution is going to happen. So keep your call to action very clear with the same verbiage, same colors, and everything same throughout the entire page. Third, and the most important thing, is proof of concept. If you put up an entire funnel writing that, this is what I have for you and this is what I can give you, but at the end of the day, you don't show trust to your prospect leads, either by sharing your own story or by working by story of someone you've worked with or you've got results with. You have to show them one proof of concept, at least one testimonial is necessary to make the funnels convert, because people trust people. They might trust your service or product, but they will only trust you more when they see that's working, and that's working with a real person. So that's why one testimonial is very important. That's a proof of concept. That could be your own story as well. You could say that, for example, in my case, I could say that, as a web designer, it was very difficult for me to get recurring income, but I did so and so and so, and this is how it is possible now. So when I reach out to my people, I know what story I have to share or what proof of concept I have to share. Beyond this, a very important thing is date and time. When I say date and time, it means that what is going to be the time duration that is going to help your prospect lead to solve that particular problem in what time frame. So if you are, organizing a workshop, you could say that it is happening on 17th and 18th of July, 2019, 7 to 8 p.m. Let's say like this. If you're offering a product, you could say that, you will have a more glowing skin within next 90 days of using this product. So something like this, which tells your audience a perfect time frame to set their expectations that this is how long I have to keep my patience. This is when the product will start showing results. I'm sorry. One more important aspect is a lead magnet. I shouldn't be saying one more. Actually, that's the most important part. One more is lead magnet. That means you should be giving a slight value to your customer or your prospect lead to get their information in return. Now, this could be anything. This could be a video. This could be an ebook. This could be documents, or a one-on-one class, or a live demo session, or anything, but some sort of lead magnet which you give to your customer in exchange of their information, so that you could become a part of their reading list or their content consuming list. That's why we share a lead magnet, which is the most important part of a funnel, because somebody who doesn't convert today will keep following you, will keep interacting with you, and one day they will trust you and they will convert to a client. So that's what a funnel consists of. Now, the time when there was a time when I was teaching people how to create a website and how to create a no-code website. And that is the time where I was sharing my story that I was introduced to ClickFunnels and I created an entire ClickFunnel designs, and that I moved to New Zenler. So I have 2 pages that I did at that point of time. I'll be sharing that, and we'll be decoding together that what all did I did, what all sections did I use from New Zenler to create that entire page. And this is like, it's been a while, it's been more than a year that I don't use those pages anymore. So the information on that could be pretty old. And I'll also take a few inspiration from the editor mode, because it's been a while that I created those. So let me share my screen and let's go through those funnels. And with that, I'll also take one moment to take a look if there are any comments and messages on the group. Also, let me know if you have any questions related to funnels. You can always put them on the Facebook post. I'll keep an eye on it. You can always post your comments there. So let me share my screen. Okay, so this is the first page which I created. Okay, so this is the first page that I created. This has approximately 9 sections. I'll just take a quick view here, and the second page also I'll show. I'll also be telling you that what all elements that I wanted, that I, those features which were in ClickFunnels, which I tried to import here. So this is the first page. This is the second one. Okay, so now what we'll do is we try to all the pages one by we'll go through this once, and if go through this one as well. Okay, so let's go through this one. Here I am. Let's go to the edit mode. So, essentially to begin with, what I wanted was I wanted to see on ClickFunnels that every time you try to swing and show you that this is to click. So if I click on the set, here is the animation. Just let me move myself to the other side. Here is the animation. You can always go and select different animations. So I've selected swing. So every time the page loads, this button swings and this shows the customer that, like it catches eye, it catches attention. This was one of the features that I thought that is the most important, which I could copy here. And once I started to develop and when I started to explore Zenler, I saw that all the features are available. I just have to give in time and understand it. So you can always give like a subheading, like the main heading where, get the offer now. And there's also like a slide heading, which is like the FOMO element that we give. It's mentioned here, and I've given an animation, which is a swing animation to catch the eye of the customer. And a similar animation has also been given on this image. If I click here and I go to the settings again, here is swollen. So again, when I load this page, I'll show you. As soon as the page loads, this element and this element kind of swings and catches the eye of the customer to take a look at this. And if you look at my headings very clearly, I have highlighted the words that I wanted, and I've done it very simply. Like if this is my entire text and I want to do this particular word, I'll just select it from right here. And as soon as I do it, just below the bar, I don't even have to click on the settings button. Just below here, I have the bold button. I have the italics. If I click on the italics, this will turn to italics. Then here I have the color. I can select a different color. So for my entire theme, I kept yellow and white. That's why if you see the entire page has yellow and white, but simply if you take a heading 1, you put on your heading, and then you can change the color by just selecting the words. Let's say I want to change this word told you. So I'll select this. It is already bold. I'll select the color and I'll put it to yellow. And I'll also put it to underline. Okay, so now you see that, out of one sentence, one particular word is highlighted and can be seen by the customer. Again, after my bold promise that I talked about, that there's always a bold promise in a funnel. After the bold promise, there is a subheading that is telling the customer that this is possible without this particular thing. Now, this is more about writing the copy of the funnel, but a heading, a subheading, and a button which catches eye. Then there is a section wherein I've not put all my content in one line. Again, I've used the same thing. I've put the entire content, and then I've highlighted the word that I wanted to, and then the message that I want to give to my prospects, I've divided it between 3 lines by highlighting whatever I wanted to. Here, this section is a feature section that I've used in Zenler. There are a lot of templates available. If you go to the blogs, just a second, let me click on this one, add new blog. And if I go to the features one, if I remember clearly, it was features. Okay. I think it was features or webinar, one of these. So I selected one of the templates. Like I told you, it's been a long while, so I don't remember which template I used. But if you browse through, and if you like to, if you give a little bit of time to the features, you will see that one. Okay, here it is. I was right. It was features. So this is the one that I used, any one of these 3. And then after importing it inside, I just made the changes. You could change this logo. You could click on settings and change the icon from here. This is the icon. So whatever point you're putting, you can change the icon here. Then this image can also be changed. If you have a good vertical image, this can be changed. So this is the entire section that I used, a template that was available inside Zenler. Just a few editing here and there, and the section was ready. Then again, here is a button which has an animation, so that again, when the person is scrolling down and they come to this section, this button catches their eye. This again is a template which I used from Zenler, and this was again a features section. If I check correctly, if you go to either webinar or you go to features, you will see that you will get this template. So this template was primarily with an image, a heading, and a subheading. So since I wanted to keep it, a little small, so I removed the image, I removed the subheading, and I used the numbers and the heading. So if you play a little bit here and there, so you will be able to come up with the sections that you would want. Again, this section is one that I used from Zenler itself, Zenler templates. And these are the images that I added, like I told you, to show proof of concept, so that people believe that this system, technically works. So I think this would be the header image. And what would be the name to it? Let me check. I think I use one of the courses or the content template, either one of the content or the features templates, I think. I'm not sure. It could be courses as well. I think it could be one of the features of the webinar. If we give a little bit of time and try to explore, we'll understand which section this was. And then again, here what I did was I divided in 2 columns, and one I used a video, and this video is hosted on YouTube, and you could put the code here, or you could upload it on Zenler as well. So you could host the video on Zenler, or you could put in the code. And again, here I have the heading, subheading, wherein I have used one highlighted word, and the button which kind of catches attention by the animation. And then I've divided a separate column by again highlighting the words which I want to show. This template again is one of the template inside Zenler I've used either from the features section or from the content section. Most of the templates that I've used is either from funnels. It could be from features, it could be for dividers, it could be from courses, or it could also be from team and slideshows as well, and processes as well. So these are, let me repeat it, it could be from processes. There are a lot of templates and processes. Then it could also be inside titles, then features, and then funnels as well. So all the templates that I've used in this particular page are from these particular templates inside Zenler. Again, following the same thing, putting the images, This section as well I've used from a template inside Zenler. Now, which part it is, I don't remember, but it's definitely from inside Zenler. Here is a timer, which is very important if you want to show the FOMO element that this is only available for, this point in time. And after this feature or this service would not be available. A timer is a very good source to use. And if you see, this timer has two options. Let me just show you. Here it is a timer evergreen or a date countdown. So for example, you are hosting a workshop and it is on, let's say, 27th of March, and today you're creating a funnel. So you want after 27th March, people should not take a look at it, or this timer should not work. So you can put a date countdown, or you could put a timer evergreen also. That is, whenever the customer will open, whatever time you set here, let's say you set 5 minutes. So whenever any new prospect, any new lead is going to open the landing page or the funnel, 5 minutes timer is going to start with them, irrespective of, if they opened in the past or not. Whenever they open it, it's going to be like 2-3 minutes, whatever you set. This is also very one important feature or element that I wanted. And you can also pin it to the top. So after you scroll down, and if you want this to be on the top, you can also pin this timer to the top. As soon as somebody is going to scroll down, this is going to be pinned to the top. Again, the sections that I have here, all of them are from the templates that I've used inside Zenler. A section like this, I may have created myself, or I might have used the template funnels. The only thing is that here, I wanted just the middle section. So I created a column of 3 and I left the last 2 to give an insight in the middle one. And then again, all the templates, this template as well is available inside Zenler. You just have to look through that which part it is. I gave a lot of good time every day to understand what all templates are available. So I would say that, if I've created this funnel, 90% of the templates were inside Zenler, and only it is 10% wherein I might have, like this section, wherein it's just heading or text that I had added. Apart from that, 90% of the content was from the templates inside Zenler. So this, we've decoded this one. Let me just close this one. Okay. This one again, no, this one. Yeah. Just a second. Yeah. This one again is very similar. It does not have a lot of changes from what we just saw now, but I'll just show you a few features that are included in this one. Okay, so here what I wanted was that I technically wanted to give like a slight, idea of a header. So I just included 2 columns with a picture and a headline. Again, here, like I told you, I'm using a timer because this was like one of the workshop funnels that I wanted to showcase. So I gave a timer here, and again, there was okay. So one thing that I wanted to tell you here, which is not visible inside the editing element, one thing was that, if we wanted to take the payment on the funnel, so what I've done here is I've just used the code from Razorpay and I've put the code here. So if you put the code, anybody can make the payment on the funnel itself. So if I click here, this will just open up the page wherein a person can enter their details and make the payment. So this is just a code that you can copy from Razorpay and you can get the payments on the funnel itself. This, again, I couldn't add the, animation on this button because this is the code from Razorpay, but all the buttons down has an animation. Then this element as well is a timeline feature from templates available inside Zenler, timeline template. This template, I am very sure, is a features template inside Zenler. Features or content, one of those, the entire, starting from what you learn till here, is a template that's available inside Zenler. This one again is a template from features section, or it could be from slideshows as well, or maybe processes. It could be from processes or features, but this section again is entirely from inside the Zenler template. These images you can change, like you do get default images with these sections, but you always have the option to change these images depending upon what feature or what aspect are you putting forward in front of your audience. Then again, this section is again something that I used from the templates section. Yes, this section is something that I was looking for so that I could give, like a complete view of the entire page so that I could tell the people that this is like a package deal, what you're getting. And this is available inside the pricing section of the templates. I'm definitely sure because I was, eagerly looking for something that could give like a wholesome view to the customer that this is what we are going to get in this money or this time or this span. So this is, I definitely remember this one. This is in pricing section of the templates. This I think is in the testimonial section. I've used a similar one on the earlier funnel as well, but in that funnel I gave more information, more pointers. So I remember this is one of the testimonials templates, I guess. Then this is a simple section that I've used by just adding columns and blogs and images to that to show the proof of concept that I talked about. This again is a section that I really liked and I was looking forward to, because a lot of times, on the funnels, if you're creating workshops or webinars regularly, with time you have questions that people ask by default. So I was really looking for this section wherein I can add all the questions already. So this is a FAQ section. This is available inside the templates of the FAQ section inside Zenler. And if I show you how it looks like, this is how this looks like. Like all the questions are here. If I click on the drop down, the answer appears. If I click on that drop down, answer appears here. So this is another section that I was really looking forward to. And this again is a template I've used inside Zenler. So both the funnels that I created like almost a year back, and I wanted to shift from ClickFunnels to new Zenler with certain elements and features that I wanted, like an animation to catch the eye of the customer, then a timer, then the FAQ section, and the entire look and feel that customer feels that they're going through a journey. And I was able to do that, and I was able to save $99 a month. I did not have to pay for that, so I really feel lucky in that matter. And I feel that, if you look at any design of ClickFunnels, 90% you can do it by using whatever templates and features are available inside Zenler. You could take inspiration from those templates, make your own additions and add your own thoughts. And I'm sure you'll come up with such designs. And I did this when I was just starting out. So I'm sure that, you'll be able to come up with magical designs if you just give a try. So I really hope that whatever is shared today, whatever I've shown you today helps you out and adds some value in your journey.
Hi, Manmeet. Yeah, that was great.
Hi, David.
Fabulous. It's really good to see how you sort of extended how the funnel works. Now, we've done lots of workshops on just showing you how to go through and do funnel steps, and kind of in a small series. But it was really nice the way that you've actually extended it and turned it into a full page. I think that was really quite useful. And the fact that you use like FAQ blocks in there and things like that is, yeah, it's pretty novel. We did have a question. Someone was asking if you can create complete funnels inside of Zenler. I think you've answered that anyway.
Yeah, that's completely possible. I think I'd like to restate that answer. There are two ways to do it. If you want to do it from scratch, if you think that you have the complete design in your mind, you have the tools inside Zenler to do it completely with the design that you have in mind. And if you think you need a little bit of, like a boost up energy to begin, and then you can put in your design, that's also possible. And that's what, like I did when I started out. I added the colors here and there, the features here and there, but most of the help is what I got from templates inside it. So I think it is good that you take a little bit of help, boost up your energy, you see like the basic structure, and then you put in all your ideas and creativity, and you'll come up with magical designs, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it's very powerful. You've got so many things that you can do with funnels. I know I show that you can use funnels, and you don't even have to use the steps. You can just use it as a way of automating mails to go out to people. What is a bit of a confusion with people is they think that there's some relationship between the email automations and actually the funnel steps. And it's quite interesting because people are like, well, if I've got steps in there, why aren't the automations going out? And what I like to say to people is they are two separate things. You're just using the initial when someone opts in or puts their name and their email. At that point, you can then start firing emails off at the time that you want. So I think that's an important thing to say as well, is that they aren't tied. So you could literally send an email out and you could send them to another funnel or another step in the funnel, or even to a web page, even to an external page. You know, so you're not tied to these things, but it's really interesting seeing the full page layout. I think I need to do that. Maybe you can do that, Manmeet, as a workshop. Build one.
Sure, sure. And having said that, when you talked about email automation, I also think that is one of the most important features, is because mostly what happens is whichever funnel builder you sign up with, you also have to sign up for an email campaign or an email tool to work together, because whatever list you're building up or whatever audience you're building up, you have to reach out to the audience. Like I mentioned when I was talking about the funnels, not all the people who are going to click are going to convert immediately. Some people are going to take their own time by building that trust, by getting to know you, by trying to answer their own doubts and questions, and then convert. So the time between the click and the convert, you will have to reach out to them and share your content with them so that they can build that trust in the process. So for that, email is very important. Like, whenever somebody signed up in the funnel, a lot of times what happens is people do not redirect to the second page because of their connectivity issues, because of their internet issues. So immediately email which immediately goes out saying that, hey, you signed up and this is what you signed up for, and this is here in your email, now enjoy watching it or reading it. So it definitely helps out, and I think it was one of the best features which I could use for my advantage when I was beginning, like a year or a half a year ago.
Yeah, it means that you don't have to use, I mean, obviously it's all included inside Zenler, so you don't have to pay out additional subscriptions. And, subscriptions, when you're a course creator and using things like Zoom, using ClickFunnels, ConvertKit or Mooseend or any of those, Zapier, then it can really mount up. The cost you'll find is huge, and then if you compare the actual just annual cost of using Zenler on its own, and including all those features, plus all the live paid lives, which you've got as well now, which is things that these other platforms haven't got and the services haven't got, even like Zoom. So without using something like Calendly to take a payment before they're booking for their Zoom session, it's so much easier. So because Zenler is really, we've made it simple, but there's a lot of stuff you can do. Now, most course creators probably will not use like 80% of the stuff that we've got in Zenler, but it's there. If you need it, it's there, isn't it, Manmeet?
Yes, definitely. I feel so. During the Zen zones, we actually have people. And recently, I remember there was one of the person talking to me. She was asking whether funnels is a good choice or a course is a good choice for a lead magnet. So I explained to her why a funnel would work. And I told her that if you go and you see the funnel steps, you'll be able to see the statistics that it has, like how many views, how many conversions, and then you can use the email automation also. And she was really happy with the fact that so many features and so many, statistics and tracking is available inside Zenler, and she did not know about it. So everything is available. It's just that a little bit of time in the beginning to go and consume everything available. And I'm sure it's like a wholesome package, because when I started with Zenler, like you just mentioned, I gave up on my Zoom subscription, which I was paying for last, I think, 6 months before coming up with Zenler. And then there are no tools that you have to use like Zapier or Pabbly. Then again, you don't have to use an email like an email tool as well to send out your emails. So it is in itself like a steal deal. That is definitely what I feel. It's just we have to give some time inside of it and understand what all is, actually available to use.
Yeah, and that's why we say to all the users, if you're new and coming into the platform, Well, one thing is you should definitely go into, Manmeet runs some of the Zen Zone sessions. Go in there, join her, join Alice or join Liz, because you can set a goal, you know, and you've got Manmeet in there to help you, Liz in there or Alice in there to help you if you need any extra help going through it. So they're ideal for new people coming in. But the thing we say that is just the most important thing is when you're first starting, keep it simple. Build your experience up slowly, just step by step. Now, if you're not sure that Zenler can do something, ask, and we'll tell you yes, probably. But then we'll tell you, like, don't overcomplicate it. So when you're doing your first funnel, maybe use our base templates to start with, change the images colors, that's fine. And then just maybe set up 1 or 2 automations in there just to get a feel for it and test it. You know, testing is so important, isn't it, Manmeet?
Yes, definitely. That's how we progress. We see what's working, what's not working, and that's when we go one step ahead. So tracking is everything, actually.
Yeah.
And testing is, I'm so sorry, testing is everything.
That's great. Thank you so much for coming on, Manmeet. We're going to be seeing more of Manmeet. She's going to be popping up everywhere.
I wanted to say, having said that, we also have a Zen Zone today at 1:30 p.m. GMT. So if any of you want to hop in, I'll be right there to host you. So please feel free and come join the Zen Zone.
Yeah, can you post the link to the Zen Zone session in the chat afterwards?
Yes, definitely. I'll do that before below the live, right?
Yeah. So I did this morning. I did an education slot, and I went over the Zen Zone sessions. But it'd be nice to pop it in there again. You know, this is something I was saying earlier. This is something that people should have to get into. It's like at the moment it's a brand new feature, and we've thrown like 3 of our educators in there. They're doing it pretty much daily. And we haven't got many people coming into it. This is the time to get in there. You get the expertise. You can get on with your mission. I know Jim was one of our winners on the YouTube challenge. He came into one of the Zen Zone sessions, and he was trying to get a video finished. And, you know, he completed it in the zone. It's like one goal. Succeed at that goal in that Zen Zone session. If you've got a second goal, come back to another session and just do that. So don't overburden yourself. Do one goal at a time. Finish one goal, and then you'll have a complete thing created if you just keep going to these Zen Zone sessions. So it's something that's going to gain a lot of momentum. I can see a lot of people coming into these sessions. So now is your chance to get in there early. And while it's not too busy, it's a bit like Zen Chat. Zen Chat's going a little bit mad now with people going in. There's loads of breakout rooms, and I'm pretty sure that Zen Zone is going to be exactly the same, because there's so many sessions you can go to, and you've got, you know, different expertise in different areas. Well, you've got Liz, you've got Manmeet, you've got Alice, you know, so you can get to know people. Maybe there's one that you'll go to more than the others, because I look at it like, Manmeet, I look at it like you're a doctor. You know, it's like people know your problem. You know those people that attend regularly. You know their problems, so you can help them and you can get to know them, and it can be really good, I think. Yeah, well done.
Definitely.
All right, I'm going to get on with the session then. Thank you, Manmeet, very much. And yeah, remember to post that Zen Zone link into the bottom.
Yes, definitely. I'll do that. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Manmeet.
Okay.
Right, so that was Manmeet there. We're coming up to 12 o'clock. I know we had a bit of a hiccup earlier, so I'm going to stitch the videos together. I think you totally missed, you missed our big session, which was the mind bending session. So I need to go back and probably redo that. All of the videos, the reason it was cut off by Facebook, I'm just going to re-emphasize this again. We might run some tests within the group itself. The reason it was cut off was there was music in there. So we'll look at solving that as a problem. So you're going to see any of the startup or the break sequences will not have any music now, but we're going to resolve that. And I'll also feed back exactly what happened and how to get around that, because that's going to help you. especially when we start producing things like OBSs for your lives, you need to know this stuff, that you can be cut off right in the middle. So we were lucky, a few guys spotted it and said, oh, it's actually stopped and blocked. And I managed to re-stream straight into the group at that point with Manmeet joining us. So you missed the mind bending session, but I'm going to cover a little bit of it now. And I actually talked about, what did I talk about? I talked about rows. I talked about two things, but I talked about rows. So I'm going to recover that now, and then you guys can see how we can do that. So we're back in the mind bending session at Zenler. I'm going to now share my screen, and we're going to look at doing what happens with rows and why you might want to do what I'm showing you now. It's going to be really good for you, because you'll see how it's all kind of coming together in there. So let me just jump in. I'm going to screen share once more, and I'm just going to create a block, and I'm going to create some rows inside, and I'm going to show you the power of putting rows inside of rows. So let's jump into my screen share. And there we go. You can see it all working now. I'm not monitoring the chat, by the way, at the moment, because obviously I'm working on this. So the first thing I'm going to do, and you can do this with any of your pages, I do suggest you work on an unpublished page. I'm going to drop in an empty block in here, and we're going to drop that in there. So I've got my empty block. That's the holder for all of our elements and, of course, our rows. So inside here, I'm going to add a row. And this is where I want to sort of show you a little bit about rows. And we have our default templates that are set up here. So we have a 50-50, a 33-66, etc., etc. So you can see these. We've given you these because these are kind of standard layouts, but you're not locked. Right, so my first tip, you're going to be, if you haven't used this part of it before, you're going to be amazed, because what you can do is you can actually add columns, and you can change the width of those columns inside the editor. You don't need to just be forced to use these layouts that we've got. So I'm going to take this one row, 100% column, and I'm going to put this in here, 100% one row, one column, and inside here, I'm going to click this. So now you can see I've got settings for this. This is one row. Normally you would put content into this row. So inside here, before I've put any content in there, I'm going to just hover over this. I'm going to right-hand click. Now I've right-hand clicked on my mouse. I have these options that come up. So I've got clone this row, clone this column, add new column, move the row up, move the row down, and I've got delete row as well. So what happens if I add a column? Let's just click add a column. There we go. We've added a column. So what about here? In here, I can right-hand click and I can add a column. Now, not only that, I could delete a column. So if I didn't want this column here, I could right-hand click and I could go delete column. Bang, it disappears. Or it should do when I hit the delete here. So let me just click that, and you can see that's disappeared now. Now, what you get also, if you click the row, is you get this little thingy here, this little separator. It's our little tab for resizing. So if you click this, you can actually drag it to different sizes. So you've got these set little sizes that you can drag it to. It's not totally free. You just got these sections. Do you see that little section come up there? I click there, another section. And when I let go of my mouse, I'm left mouse clicking. I'm holding that left mouse button and I'm dragging it and I'm releasing, and it's setting it up there. So this is really cool because it means I can set new positions for this, or I can put this back to here. Let's put it back to the middle. Like that, and now I've got a two column. Even though it's a one row, when I put it in there, I've got now one row, two columns. So what is good about this is if I click in the settings, you're going to see that I can actually put a background image in on this. I could set a background color, but the thing is, because it is one row, two columns, it's still one row. So whatever I do to it in the settings, it's going to apply it to the whole row. Okay, now this is key. You apply it to the whole row, but I might want to apply a different color inside one of the cells or one of the columns. So how do I do that? So let me show you how to do it. Let's go and select a background color for this. There we go. And to be able to put another row inside here and color it, I'm going to put a row inside a row. Okay, so commonly, probably what you guys are doing is dropping an element in there. So you'll probably click here and you'll probably go straight through to something like an image, and you might select an image and drop an image in there. But let's go and add a row. Let's go and add 100% row. So we're going to add a row inside a row. So now what you're going to see is if you mouse over here, you're now going to have this little block come up here, another green block. This is a row inside a row. What this means now is I can color this separately. So I can come in here and I can go down to my background color. And let's choose this blue here. And you can see I've now colored that. Now I can't do it with this one because I've got no row in there. And this is the power of using this. So if I wanted this to be flush with the edge, what I can do is I can come in here. I can make sure that my padding and my spacing is all on 0. So I'm just going to put these on here and here. And I'm going to go down to the padding and just make sure that that is all on 0 inside here. So it is. And inside here, I'm now going to click this inside row, and I'm going to click on the gear icon of that inside column, and I'm going to set this. So I'm going to put this on 0 inside here. Now, we can also set a slight negative value on this row, so it pushes it to the outside of here. So if I put negative spacing on the left-hand side of 10, I've now got rid of it. So I've now got a nice flush dual color. Remember, this color here is over the whole row, okay? But I could put another row in there as well. So this is the power of using this. So now I can just go ahead and just put my elements in there as I normally would. I'd click here, probably go to the text, click the text in there, have that pop up in there. And if I need spacing at the top, I can just use the element for spacing. So I can click in here, click this little gear icon and shoot across to here and just put some extra spacing in. So if I want a bit of extra spacing in there, I can just put that in there, give it a little, maybe a little bit more air left and right if I want to, you know, just pixel perfect stuff going on here. And like that. And then I could come in this side and drop in, I'm going to drop in another row. I want to drop an image in there, but I'm dropping a row in there because I want control over it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make this image flush with this blue block. So I have that in there. I'm going to take the base background, which has got this color here, and I'm actually just going to make it transparent. So I'm going to go in here and they've got a little checker here. This is transparent. This means there's no color applied. So whatever color is underneath will show through. So if you see this little checker, and this, you see that quite a lot on lots of the blocks and backgrounds, just remember that that's what it's for. So I'm going to click there and you're going to see it's going to go transparent like that. Now I'm going to grab that in a row in there, which I should better get. Sometimes it can be a little bit fiddly to get it. Oh, there it is. There. Let's click now here. Okay, so that's all right. So I'm now going to drop an image in here and I'm going to make it flush against here. So I'm going to go to add. This is a common thing that you guys want to do. So I'm going to go to image. So I've got control over the row and I've got control over the rows inside the row. So I want to go to image now and I'm just going to drop an image in here. So when that comes across, let's go and grab this dog here. He's quite nice. All right, that's good. And I probably want to make the background that same color and then it will be flush. So I can easily do it here. I could go ahead inside this row here And there's loads of things you can do, you see. That's why I'm like, should I do it that way? Should I do it that way? Because I could use negative values in here. If I clicked inside here, I could put a negative left value in here of like 40. And what you're going to see is it will push straight across. So you can do it that way. But with this particular case, I just want this all to be blue, and I want it to just be flush against what I've got. So I don't need to do the negative value at all. And if I don't need to use negative values, I won't. I just use them in certain circumstances. So to make this all a bluey color, I'm going to go into this one because I don't need this to be a color. And I'm going to go and make this transparent. I'm going to select the master row, and I'm going to just make that one color. And then I'm going to offset this image. You're going to see it in a second as I'm doing it. So I'm going to choose now a background color. I'm going to choose that blue that we had. There it is. It's a bit lighter, but it's fine. Okay, and now what I want to do is I actually want to get this to be flush with this edge. So I'm going to choose the row that's inside it, like this. And I'm going to have no spacing at top, no spacing at side. And I'm actually going to offset this. So I'm going to offset the top by -10. That's going to push that up. And I'm going to offset the bottom by -10, like that. And now you can see it's flush. Now I just need to offset the right-hand side. And I think this is about 20. Again, you get better at this when you start to use it. And finally, I want to make this text. I want everything to kind of align at the top. So I'm going to check the master row. Remember, that's the original one we started with. And I'm going to go down to vertical alignment. I'm going to say top. And I'm going to push that at the top. Remember, we've still got the control here to spread things around if we want to. Sorry, I can use the padding inside of the spacing inside of the element itself. So I could come in there and I could change that spacing. Notice it goes up or down. And then I could then do a little call to action button. So inside here, I could just add a little button coming in here. So guys, we're running up to the 12 o'clock, but I'm going to carry this on because I want to show you this. And we did skip a little bit earlier. So it's all fine. So let me just go and choose, added a button in there. I'm going to go and just change this button. I've created a nice little call to action block. So I'm going to go in here, choose a nice rounded button, go into the styles for that button. And I'm going to change the background to a white. And I'm going to change the text color to a nice black. And that looks good. And I'm not going to have it full width. I'm going to put it normal. I always like to change this padding down to 8. It feels better to me. And I'll give it a little bit more padding left and right here. And then I can change what it says. Sign up. Click save, and I've created a little kind of call to action block. So obviously I put my proper text in here, and I'd probably change this to white. So let's just finish this off. And then I would add another heading probably in here, probably be an H2 heading. Put something like join us, move this up, drag and drop. Little bit of spacing inside here. That's good. Go to something like a bold. And then I've got a nice little call to action block created there when this is nicely flush along here and everything's working. So let's just preview this, just check it's working. And there you go. Got a nice little block in there. By the way, guys, this is this text is just being overridden the color by the CSS that I've got set in there, but you get the idea. So really cool, really easy to do. And that's how you can use rows inside rows to get extra control. Now you can do a lot more than that. You can put rows inside rows, inside rows, inside rows if you wanted to. So that's how you can control that. Do remember when you go into responsive style with any of these, what it will do is it will take the first row column and the second row column. The second row column will go underneath the first one. So that's how it works responsively. I've got some videos on YouTube that show you responsive behavior on the way that Zenler works at this time. Okay, so that's worth bearing in mind. But that's my mind-bending mind-bending session for today. I might do another mind-bending session in the afternoon session, which starts at 3 o'clock. So at 3 o'clock today, we have Alice joining us, and she's going to do some cool social stuff that she normally does. She's on for an hour. Straight after her, we also have Liz on there, and Liz is going to be doing some good stuff as well. So all exciting stuff to come up in session 2. And hopefully we won't have to cut a new video in because I no longer have the sound going. So I hope you've enjoyed this first session. By the way, also give us the thumbs up if you're liking the way that we're doing the fades and changing between all of the different backgrounds and things. If you like this sort of stuff and you think, oh, that's cool, and you'd also like to know how we did it, you know, so ask us, how do we did it? Maybe hashtag, how did you do that, Zenler? You know, something like that in the chat would be really good. And maybe then we'll do a video for you and show you how to use OBS to do all this amazing stuff. I'm going to finish for this morning session. And yeah, I want to thank Manmeet for doing that big presentation for us. And I also want to thank Jacqui for showing us all about the symposium. It's a really, really interesting thing she was talking about. And obviously it was very successful. She had 295 people on join it. She did everything by the book. It all ran exceedingly smoothly. You can tell how happy she is by the post she's put up on Facebook about it. And she obviously raised a lot of money as well on that day session. So kudos to Jacqui for doing that. It was a really good one. It's really nice that you spent the time to come on and tell everybody how you did it as well. So I'm going to see you guys in the afternoon session. That kind of concludes session 1 of A Day with Zenler, with all kinds of little bugs going on. But, you know, that's the thing. You try new things. We could stay and just do the same thing each end of each month or any of our lives. But we really like to push the envelope on this stuff. And, of course, anything we're doing and we can show you how we did it, we do. So, anyway, I hope you're enjoying it. And I'll see you a bit later with Alice and Liz in session 2 of A Day with Zenler. See you guys later.